by some members of the Basic Education Portfolio Committee that the regulations are being delayed to avoid implementing the Act in its totality. Last week, committee chairperson Joy Maimela expressed their discontent at the releasing of only 2 regulations, saying this creates confusion in the sector. Babalondenza reports.
The department earlier this month released 2 out of the 8 Bella Act regulations, which focus mainly on admission and the minimum norms for school capacity. This has caused frustration among some in the ANC, who have called for all the regulations to be released. But Minister Sipho Kwahube says there's no delay, reminding members that the National Health Insurance Act regulations took 18 months to develop.
Of course, what's most important to us is to make sure that South Africans have an opportunity to comment on these so that whatever the final product is, it's influenced by the public comments process. But we can't rush this. It's important that it's not be rushed because of political machinations.
Kwahube says they must be guided by how the process works and how legislation development works through the recommendations of the Chief State Law Advisor. Babalondenza, Eyewitness News, Cape Town.
And Israel's latest attack on journalists and more than 21 people at NASA hospital in the Gaza Strip has been met with widespread global condemnation. The 5 journalists, as well as medics and rescue workers, in the latest deliberate strike on civilians, has destroyed the much-needed health system in the Strip. The first strike of the double tap attack, where one strike is followed by a second soon after, hit the top floor of a building at NASA Hospital, and minutes later, as journalists and rescuers rushed up an external staircase, a second projectile hit. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office says the strike was tragic mishap and that the military is investigating. The committee to protect journalists called for the international community to hold Israel accountable for its continued unlawful attacks on the press. Meanwhile, Stefan Dujarric, spokesperson for the UN Secretary General, says the killings highlight the extreme risks that journalists and medical workers face when doing their work in Gaza.
The Secretary General recalls that civilians, including medical personnel and journalists, must be respected and protected at all times. He calls for a prompt, impartial investigation into these killings. He reiterates that medical personnel and journalists must be able to perform their essential duties without interference, without intimidation, and without harm.
Gold is trading at $3,373.41 an ounce. The rand is at 17.60 to the dollar, 23.70 to the pound, 20.48 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $68.53 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got a major accident scene reported on the N12 east towards the Airlands interchanges, causing heavy delays coming out of Fort Drucker Road in the South Crest area. Please be on the lookout there and expect about a 15-minute hold-up while travelling on the Mark 1 North. Delays between Boyson's Road and the Crown interchange.
And in your sports, 16-year-old Rio Ngumoa on Premier League debut scores Liverpool winner 10 minutes into stoppage time in a 3-2 win over Newcastle. At the US Open, the 6th seed Madison Keys knocked out in the first round, while South African Lloyd Harris is through to the second round.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. Johannesburg starting at 11 degrees, peaking at 29. Pretoria 14 and 28. Vereniging 5 and 29 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Police are on the hunt for 2 robbery suspects who fled the scene of a crime in Midrand when officers pounced on a bogus Facebook market transaction.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko. Let's celebrate excellence, one vote at a time. Go to primediaplus.com now to vote for the finalist that makes Gauteng feel like home.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 minutes after 6 o'clock, it is a Tuesday. It's the 26th of August, the year of our Lord 2025. My name indeed is Bongani Bingwa on 702 Breakfast. Welcome one, welcome all. Where are you listening to us from? Are you in Centurion, Silverfields, Toekomsrus? Are you in Cullinan or Brandvlei or Randval? Or is that Randval? We're the station that aims to reach you wherever you are around the world. Our job is to tell you what's going on in the world. You tell us what's happening in yours. I'm not alone as always. My colleagues Amukhela Ngramela and Muteo Khwaripe at least start the show with me in studio. Good morning, you two. Good morning, Muteo.
Morning, Bones.
It's Tuesday. We're well in the news cycle for the week. Still feeling good after the weekend?
Still a bit
sluggish?
I was about to say well in. I'm the only one struggling.
Amo?
Good morning, Bonds.
Are you well?
I'm well.
Alive and
really
kicking?
Alive. I'm not sure about kicking, but I'm alive and quite energetic. Yeah.
Talking about being alive, to what age, assuming your mental health is strong, you're not frail physically, assuming relative independence, to what age would you like to live?
I think around 86, 85. 85, 86.
Muteo?
I think 80 is fine.
80 is fine.
80 is fine.
That will be a good
Without
innings
being
for you.
Selfish. I don't want anybody taking care of me. I think 80, yeah. Good innings for me. I bow out.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
80 is fine, says Muteo Khwaripe. You can join us, by the way, on our live streaming on YouTube. It is working today, and even yesterday, it wasn't actually our fault. Our technical team did all they could, but the fault was on the platform. But everything all sorted. It is working. 80 says Muteo. The other thing, so I would be very clear, I don't want to be frail physically. I don't want to be restricted in terms of my mobility. I want to still be able to go up and down stairs and have relative ease of movement. I certainly want to keep my mind. And possibly my biggest, call it a prayer, would be not to be a grumpy old man. I'm grumpy. I'm sufficiently grumpy at this age.
So generally, you don't want to be old.
Is that what it is? I often joke with my daughter because she insists, no, Dad, I won't put you in an old age home. You'll stay with me. And I'm like, yeah, sweetie. My problem with that is I might ask you for something. And what are you going to say to me? Okay, Dad, first let me speak to Greg. And let's see what Greg says. I mean, Greg is a random name, of course. And then you'll come back, and even if maybe you and I are aligned, you might come back and say, well, I've actually had a rethink because I spoke to Greg, and Greg feels blah, 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 blah. And mind you, in that scenario, she'd be well within her rights to do so as a married woman, right? Especially if I'm living in their house. Of course she must. But my pride would not allow Greg Ekimang.
I'll do it myself.
Who is this Greg? Who's Greg to me? You follow what I'm trying to say? I mean, I think people who are married, who are looking after their aging parents, have to navigate those things with extreme care and great skill, right? Even if Greg says, don't throw Greg under the bus, right, to his in-laws. Or if she changes her mind, poor Greg might have nothing to do with it, but I'll say, oh, Greg said we couldn't do this, huh? Oh, Greg says we can't afford it. Oh, okay. Greg says, right? To what age would you like to live? What would you consider a good innings? Let me tell you why we're asking that question in a minute. But on our menu today, SASSA is rolling out a new system for millions of grant recipients. There is so much fraud that happens at SASSA, where people will claim for kids that are not theirs. People will claim for kids even when they're employed. Now, you might argue that you can see how it happens, because even if people are employed, it doesn't always mean the money stretches far enough. But SASSA suffers enormously because of fraudulent applications made by South Africans who should not be on that system. And so now they've come up with a new biometric system that if you are applying, they need your physical fingerprint, not just the documents you supply. And it's all going to be a biometric, sophisticated system. They'll explain how it will impact grant recipients, whether it's going to apply only to those coming onto the system, what of those already receiving the money? We'll speak to them in the first hour of the show. And then a really, really big question. Patricia de Lille, the tourism minister, is being accused of political interference. So did she interfere with a board that was trying to save SA tourism? She's being accused of providing political cover for the suspended CEO Nombulelo Kuliwe, who it is now alleged wasn't even the first choice for the job. A number of questions for the tourism minister to answer. She's agreed to join us, I'm pleased to tell you. No doubt, as fiery as ever, she will be with us at 7:15. And then the secrets of longevity. A village in Limpopo where 100 is kind of the norm. They've got more centenarians than any other area of the country. We're going to be speaking to Chief Rivuani Matsila, who is the traditional leader of the Matsila people, who's going to tell us the secrets to their long and healthy lives. So these are not people who are bedridden. These are not people with mobility issues, with mental health issues. They're as strong as they ever were, and they often live well in excess of 100 years. I thought that would be a fascinating interview. That'll do after 8 o'clock. And then just before 9, we speak to BMW Art Generation at Nyrox. Cam Candon is a curator and fair manager at F&B Art Joburg.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
Let's start with a political question. It's 14 minutes after 6 o'clock. This is audio we should have played yesterday because it comes out of a Sunday memorial lecture. This is the Gertrude Shope lecture where ANC veteran Naledi Pandor was speaking, but I thought it worth pondering about before playing it, right? So it is Pandor speaking, and I've spent the last day or so pondering on what it is she had to say, and I'd like you to do the same. She was speaking about the dearth of leadership in her organization, the ANC. And the simple question I'm asking this morning, can this party still be saved? Are those who hope it can delulu? Remember we spoke about that word the other day, delusional? Are they delulu? Have a listen to what Dr. Naledi Pandor had to say about the ANC.
There is nothing worse in an organization or in a country than has no solution. We can't be asking someone else, how do we solve this? The people are looking to us to resolve it. We shouldn't be talking about renewal in conceptual terms. We must talk about it in practical terms. Comrades, we're confronting very serious problems. All of them require a strong African National Congress. We have forgotten that we exist to serve the people, that we exist for the people, and we have lost our glory. Let's not pretend about it. The people are looking at us with disdain. The people are looking at us with horror and shame.
Strong words. Do you think Fikile Mbalula is going to discipline her now? Right? Remember after he was going after Senzo Mkhunu and Malusi Gigaba, what is he going to say about Naledi Pandor? She said it really, didn't she? The people are looking at us with disdain, with horror, she says. Can this ANC still be saved?
Let's walk the talk.
7:02.
Uteo Kharipa, you've got a question of your own?
Yeah, Bongs, I want to know this morning, you're a guest at someone's house.
Yeah.
They offer you a cup of coffee.
Right.
Are you conscious about the brand they're about to serve you? Or you don't mind, just make me anything you have?
If I don't know you, do you have tea?
You're not going to take the chance.
Do you have tea?
I have tea.
Can I have tea? So, simple context, I spent many years of my life working for Carte Blanche, and 90% of our interviews were either in the interviewee's home or their place of work or office, right? And a significant portion were actually in people's homes because usually the interview didn't always have anything to do with their job, and they didn't want it known at work that Carte Blanche came to interview them. So we'd do it in their home. And I just learned my lesson, hey? I've had enough bad cups of coffee to know rather ask for tea. Unless I can smell it and you are proud of your brew.
Yes.
And you are offering me, you're like, oh my gosh, you've got to take. Then we're in the
Amo, are you a
business.
coffee snob?
Oh, no, I'm not. I'll have anything you offer me. Tea, coffee, and even rooibos tea. I'll go for anything. I'm not that particular.
Can I dispute her answer? Your Honor. And we can call Calvin to be part of this conversation. When she first got married, brothers buys coffee.
No.
And who told him? Never ever in your life again.
No, you had me wrong. I was the one buying
Coffee.
Yes.
Ah.
He said, no, honey. That's why you have heart palpitations, because you are drinking chicory and you're taking in a lot of it. And you need to have the real one. And this is, so
your
he
taste
introduced
your
me.
taste has improved since.
It has, but that doesn't mean if I go to Bongani's home and he offers me chicory, I won't drink it.
So
I'll
you see, I was
happily
projecting, Amo, because that's how it happened to me. It was my ex-wife who said, no, sweetie, we're not drinking chicory. So I'm well trained.
702.
Weather.
18 after 6 conditions in Johannesburg. You're looking forward to degrees of 11 to 29 in Joburg, 14 and 28 in Pretoria, Vereeniging 5 and 29. Cape Town, clear skies, a high of 18. Bombela, 24. And Bloemfontein, 28, your highs there. Durban, partly cloudy, peaking at 21 degrees. Gqeberha, 19. East London, 20. Kimberley, 30.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by JQ. Start here and let nothing stop you, not even traffic.
Well, if you're traveling in Modderfontein, we've got an accident reported along Modderfontein Road. It happened right near Zuurfontein Road and it's causing heavy delays. Please be on the lookout there. While traveling in South Crest, another accident scene. This one is on the N12 East towards the Elands interchange and it's causing heavy traffic volumes coming out of the Reading turn off. So please approach with care. About a 20-minute hold up there. I'll have more updates for you, but if you come across anything else on the road, you're an X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
They'll tell you to wait until you're ready, until the plan is perfect, until you have it all together. But let's be real. Anyone who's done anything started without enough. They started nervous, started without a plan. Until the hustle made sense, they started anyway. And when ambition calls, you need more than a ride. You need a car built to start you on your journey, to drive you into what's next. Start where it matters. Start where it counts. The new JQ J5. Start here.
The 12th edition of the DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lottostar, is here. Experience unbeatable vibes this heritage weekend at the Kyalami Grand Prix Circuit on the 20th and 21st of September. On Saturday the 20th, catch Don Toliver, Cuesta, Inkabi Zezwe, and more. Then on Sunday the 21st, don't miss the iconic Lauryn Hill on her 25th anniversary tour with special guests Wyclef Jean, YG Mali, Zion Mali, and Lyra, Mandisi, Dankisi, Zoe Modicha also performing on the Sunday. Tickets at Ticketmaster. The DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lottostar and proudly supported by 702.
Start thinking about your future degree. The IIE MSA campus in the West Rand is hosting an open day on Saturday, 30 August. Meet our academics to discuss the IIE bachelor and postgraduate degrees in a wide range of study areas. Explore the largest private higher education campus in South Africa and experience the exciting student life. For more info, visit iiemsa.co.za. IIE MSA is a leading brand of the Independent Institute of Education, a registered higher education provider.
Choose the best. The new Huawei Pura 80 series. The master of photography. A super sensor with precision zoom. Stay sharp from dawn to dusk with a superior 1-inch ultralighting camera and ultralighting macro telephoto lens. The master of color, enhancing every frame with vibrant color and incredible clarity. Tricky lighting? No problem. Take portraits against the light with every face perfectly illuminated. It's more than a phone. It's a professional studio in your pocket. Go beyond with Huawei Pura 80 series.
Are you ready to explore your beautiful country in style? With Lekker user-friendly accommodation booking app, finding the perfect stay has never been easier. Whether you're dreaming of a beach escape, a bush retreat, or a city adventure, Lekker Slaap has you covered with thousands of stays for every budget. Join millions of happy South Africans who book their stays on Lekker Slaap. Download the Lekker Slaap app today and easily book your next holiday.
It all starts with FNB Private. Diversify your portfolio to grow your wealth. Gain global exposure through shares or unit trusts on the FNB app. Tap into international investments and tax-efficient offshore trusts to build your legacy. Unlock invaluable with FNB Private. Help changes everything. FNB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSB and credit provider. FNB International Trustees, FNB IT registration number 3080. Licensed by the Guernsey Financial Services Commission to conduct fiduciary business. T's and C's apply.
702.
Add your voice.
Have your say.
Let's walk the talk.
Very good morning, Bongani. Bongani, look, man, I hear what Naledi Pando is saying. I have a problem with ANC leaders because all of them, those who have been in leadership or with the Ramaphosa administration, when they are out, you listen to Thabo Mbeki, you listen to everybody that has been within the ANC. They're failing to influence ANC policy or whoever is in charge of the ANC to lead this country. When they are gathering with people somewhere else, they're talking different things, of which you start asking yourself, what is it that ANC is doing? Are they telling us those who are leading ANC, they're dictators? Definitely, I fail to understand the talk that they really... Normally, when they have different audience, they say something different. Mushere Bai.
Mushere, would you rather they say nothing? Right? Would you rather they say nothing, watch this movie, watch this car crash? Or do they use what little remains of whatever moral authority they ever had to raise the flag and say, there are serious issues that we need to deal with as an organization? Or does that take you back to my initial question? Can this thing be saved? Because they talk as if it can. Right? When she talks about people watching them with disdain and horror, that would suggest she thinks there's a level of shame that the organization won't accept, that they'll hang their heads and say, we can do better. This ANC, are you convinced?
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
25 minutes after 6, things you need to know at this hour. In an extraordinary development, the National Police Commissioner, Fani Masemola, is now accusing his deputy, Shadrack Sibiya, of disobeying orders by immediately disbanding that KZN political killings task team instead of following a gradual process. Sibiya, on the other hand, has taken that matter to court, arguing that he acted on the instructions from Masemola's office. And he says, in fact, Masemola knows the instruction to suspend or to disband the political killings task team wasn't from him, but it was from the he is the suspended police minister. I can't keep up. This one is suspended, that one is suspended, that one is suspended. Suspended police minister Senzo Mkhunu. Sibiya says, you know I didn't issue that instruction. Masemola is arguing in papers that we spoke about the direction that this was all going to take, that some cases would go to province, some cases, those already on the court roll, would stay with national. There was a process that was to be followed, and he contends Sibiya didn't do so, and that's why he suspended him. Sibiya, for his part, says, listen, dude, I need to go back to work. I need to go back to work. And the question is, are we even safe? I mean, the top echelons of SAPS are in complete disarray. We've got a suspended police minister. We've got a replacement who is said to be a police minister. It's just that one works on the job and the other one gets all the salaries and the perks, right? And now we've got the two top cops from an operational point of view, the national commissioner and his direct deputy, duking it out in court. Are we safe? Who's going after the criminals? I told you a little earlier on, well, in fact, before I do that, let me tell you about this viral video from Knysna High School that has sparked national outrage. So in it, we see these black learners singing a traditional song, and colored pupils in the video, this is in the Western Cape in Knysna, then use a racial slur against the group of black learners for singing the song. One of them, in fact, videoed all of this, and now the video, of course, has gone out far and wide, and there's been enormous outrage. And really the question for me is, kids say these things out of a particular context. There is no way I'm going to take a video of my friend, believing my friend is doing something wrong, and disseminate that video if I thought my friend did something wrong. Even in high school, I think you've got enough chutzpah and intelligence to know that. But if you think the friend is saying the right thing, if you think, hey, everybody else, look at what we saw with my friend, these Ks singing their K songs, what does that tell us about the society in which we live? There's a new book coming out, and it's central in the accusations against Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. It's called Nobody's Girl. It is written supposedly by one of the victims who claims in that book to tell all that happened under Jeffrey Epstein. We'll hear more details from Adam Gilchrist in The World View. Aaron Patterson was convicted of murdering 3 people by serving a toxic mushroom lunch in July 2023, and he attempted to kill a 4th who survived after a liver transplant. At a pre-sentencing, Patterson was urged to confess, but he faces a potential life sentence for the murders and 25 years for attempted murder. This is a story coming out of Melbourne in Australia. Melissa McCarthy, one of my favorite comedians, born on this day in 1950. The renowned actress known for her roles in Gilmore Girls, Mike and Molly, The Bridesmaids, and The Heat. She began a career as a stand-up comedian and was part of the Los Angeles improv group The Groundings. She's been married to Ben Falcone since 2005, has 2 daughters, has also hosted Saturday Night Live, and starred in the 2016 Ghostbusters reboot.
702.
The newspapers.
International headlines. Sfisa Zulu, very good morning to you.
Good morning, Bongani. Starting with USA Today is a story perhaps that I guess parents can weigh in on when your children want to come to you and say, Mom, Dad, I want to take part in extreme sport. It's basically a story where a family is pictured in the front page of USA Today at a memorial of a 16-year-old who died during a mid-race crash on a dirt track of a motocross competition. Do you allow your children when they come to you and say, I want to take part in this sport that's deemed
in a
dangerous?
dangerous sport? Yeah. Gosh, thankfully I haven't had that. Mine prefer dainty sports, which is how I like it. Right? Let's go play netball. How bad could it get? Although if you watch those netball games and some of those girls and how rough they are,
quite rough,
right? The front page of the Business Day locally, Sibia disobeyed instructions. This is the Masimula Shadrach Sibia debacle. That's the front page of the Business Day. The Sowetan this morning, we don't regret taking on Israel. That's a quote from International Relations Minister Ronald Lamola. And the Citizens front page this morning has twist in the ANC power race, and they're suggesting that some of the top contenders for replacing Cyril as president of the ANC are Mbalula and Paul Mashatile, and apparently they are negotiating a deal, right? Heads or tails? You want it? Heads or tails? And the idea, of course, is to stop the factionalism and the vote buying and the vote rigging. Will it matter? Can this ANC be saved? Sviso.
Those are the newspapers.
EWN Business.
You're a guest at someone's house. You don't really know them well. Mateo wants to know. They offer you a cup of coffee. If you're me, you ask for tea. Are you a coffee snob? What brand of coffee do you care about consuming? What's your favorite brand of coffee? That's your question, Mateo. What prompts it?
Well, there's a coffee deal, Bongani, on the table that could improve the experience for coffee lovers, right? US beverage giant Keurig Dr. Pepper has put in a bid to buy coffee company JDE Peet's for $18 billion or 317 billion rand. Now, Keurig Dr. Pepper is the home of brands like 7-Up, Dr. Pepper, Schweppes, and the cordial brand Roses. That part of the business doing quite well, but its coffee unit is suffering despite having decent brands. Dr. Pepper houses Keurig, Lavazza Coffee, and McCafe that supplies McDonald's, but not doing so well. So the company hopes that acquiring JDEP will help with sales. JDE is home to the successful brands like Jacobs Kroning, Hummingbird, and Dow Egberts. The Dutch tea and coffee company reported good results this year with earnings of 13.2% to $1.3 billion in 2024. Its brands, Dow Egberts and Jacobs Kroning, have grown 21% in the past year in markets like Africa, Latin America, Russia, and the Middle East. It's envisioned that this particular partnership will help Keurig Coffee Unit save its business.
Well, they may have grown 21%, but at times, certainly when it comes to Dow Egberts, it feels like the prices have also gone up 21%. Eh? I'm a sucker for punishment. I still buy it.
Is it good?
Oh, my gosh. Dow Egberts. Oh. Gosh. All right. Where's the rand?
1761 against the dollar this morning, holding on to very marginal gains at 20 rand 47 cents against the euro and at 23 rand 67 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $3,373 an ounce, while platinum is at $1,343. Brent crude now at $68.46 a barrel. More business after 7.
Straight to the news desk we go. Sfiso Zulu, good morning once more. The Sindiso Makakba case, what's the latest?
Well, Bongani, good morning. The state in the murder case of the slain ANC councillor says it's finally managed to link the evidence to the alleged mastermind behind the killing. Stanley Skosana is accused of organizing the hit on Makakba and other councillors while he was a municipal manager. Makakba, who is also the former ANC Youth League Secretary General, was killed in 2017. State Advocate Lawrence Gaba maintains all evidence points to Skosana as the mastermind.
At long last, we have evidence linking the mastermind, unfortunately the other one is deceased, to the killing of this young man. We have managed to put Mr. Skosana to answer to the charges of the overwhelming evidence that we have against him.
Gaba says the accused should be denied bail.
We further argue that as a bail applicant, you dismally, as you would say when you were a teacher, dismally failed to show the existence of any exceptional circumstance warranting your release.
In the Western Cape, the High Court has heard about a sophisticated software crime intelligence uses to intercept cell phone recordings. This was during the case of alleged underworld gang boss Jerome Donkey Boyson and 11 others yesterday. They are all on trial in the High Court for the murder of steroid king Brian Weinstein, who was shot dead in 2017. While the trial has been running, alleged underworld figures Mark Liffman and Andre Nudier, along with 3 other accused, have all been killed. Carlo Peterson reports.
A crime intelligence colonel testified yesterday about cell phone recordings extracted from the phones of alleged underworld figures Jerome Boyson, Andre Nudier and Mark Liffman. One of the files show crime intelligence officers were monitoring Boyson, Nudier and Liffman's calls since 2015. However, when the state attempted to play the recordings in court, the file containing the phone calls was found to be corrupted. After proceedings were delayed when the colonel struggled to play the recordings from his laptop, State Prosecutor Nathan Adrianza explained why the software was so complex.
I inquired from the member of OIC that I spoke to, and he said it's because of the fact that if this laptop is to come into the wrong hands, the ordinary person would not be able to know how to use the software that is on the laptop.
A trial within a trial for the court to decide whether the cell phone recordings can be used as evidence in court is set to continue today. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
And Donald Trump has announced that he will fire Federal Reserve official Lisa Cook from her position, a major escalation in his battle against the U.S. Central Bank. In an announcement made on his social media platform Truth Social, Trump posted a letter addressed to Cook in which he informs her of his decision to remove her from the bank's board of governors with immediate effect. He says there's sufficient reason to believe she had made false statements on mortgage agreements and cited constitutional powers which he says allowed him to remove her. Cook has responded saying Trump has no authority to fire her and she will not resign. A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of 5 and 11 degrees, peaking at highs between 28 and 29.
And in the traffic, we've got a bus stuck on the road is on the Magwan North right near Boyson's Road turn off. It's causing heavy delays. Please be on the lookout, especially if you're around the Gold Reef City area. While traveling in South Crest, that accident is still there along the N12 East right near the Earlands interchange. Delays from the Reading turn off.
The top story this hour, the state in the murder case of slain ANC councillor Sindiso Magaka says it's finally managed to link evidence to the alleged mastermind behind the killing.
702 delivers
on the matters that matter to you.
I am Alula Madlamini, an avid Talk Radio 702 listener. Have been listening since way back when it was medium wave all the way till now. Talk Radio 702 is, it forms part of the network of what my life is made up of, you know, from God to my family to my joy. 702 is my magazine of life. The depth and width of knowledge, from fun to spiritual knowledge and fulfillment. So I find everything on 702, so much that it is the only radio station that I listen to from Monday to Sunday. I am totally sold out on Talk Radio 702.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
so we can deliver more on what matters to you.
702 listens.
Let's walk the talk.
10 years ago, Illuma Capital set out with one goal: to help people like you build a legacy for tomorrow. Through personalized strategies and unwavering dedication, we've been instrumental in helping our clients achieve their financial dreams, whether it's securing retirement, growing wealth, or planning for the unexpected. For a decade, we've been trusted to guide your financial journey with expertise and care. Visit illuma.co.za today. Illuma Capital is a licensed FSP. T's and C's apply.
Hi everyone, I'm Dean McPherson, the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure. Since I was appointed just over a year ago, we've laid a firm foundation in the department, and after tabling our 7.6 billion rand budget for growth, we're now turning plans into action. That means that we're moving government departments into our own state-owned buildings to save you billions of rands in rent. We're unlocking public land to build affordable housing, create shelters for victims of gender-based violence, and to boost food production. We're also tackling corruption head-on without fear or favor. And we're giving young South Africans real opportunities through a reformed EPWP program that focuses on skills and long-term jobs. And this is only the beginning. With your support, we're building a capable and professional department that delivers infrastructure, creates jobs, and puts public assets to work for the public good. The best is yet to come because we're building a better country for you, brick by brick.
For those 2 a.m. checkouts or the late night shift, for the last minute orders, and the beginning of the month rush, for the 9 to 5 that becomes a 5 to 9. You don't clock out, and neither should your payments. Pay fast by network, always open for the dreamers, the doers, for you. From e-commerce to in-store payments and business funding, we have you covered. Sign up today at payfast.io.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Hey, morning bongs, Obran Fosloras. Bongani, the speech of Naledi Pando. Let me tell you, I'm very disappointed to hear her saying that. In the history of the African National Congress, Bongani, there's no leader who told us the truth that the ANC is declining, and that particular person as a leader, I'm distancing myself, I'm resigning as a member of parliament, I'm resigning as a veteran. They always say the ANC, hey, we must renew, we must practice renewal. Why can't she distance herself from the rotten ANC and say, I'm resigning, I'm not a part of the ANC anymore? Up until the ANC gets its house in order, I'll be back. I want a leader who will tell us that one day. Thank you, Bongani.
Good morning, Bongani and the team. Unfortunately or fortunately, the ANC has fallen into his own shot. Look, the arrogance displayed by the comrades of Mbalula, it's unacceptable, Bongani. That will be the death of the ANC. Let us rejoice and celebrate their downfall. It's Mbui in Midrand. Thank you.
Good morning, Bongani and team. I personally believe that South Africa no longer needs the ANC. They played their part at some point, and then afterwards they just started messing up. So I think at this point the country no longer needs them. It has been established that we can do without them.
We are talking about, can the ANC still be saved? This is following the remarks at the weekend of former Minister Dr. Naledi Pandor, who says people look at the party with horror and shame. The difficulty, of course, many will have is that she was one of Zuma's strongest defenders. If you recall those motions of no confidence, when she would get up as possibly one of the most eloquent and articulate members of the ANC, she defended him as if her life depended on it. And now she looks back and she says, people regard the ANC with disdain and horror, when you could argue that in part she was there allowing it to take place, allowing the ANC to morph into an organization regarded with disdain and horror.
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, are you a coffee snob? Muteo wants to know.
Yeah.
You go to someone's house, they offer you tea or coffee if you're not sure.
No,
you say tea like I do.
So, it depends. Like, I'm not so if I'm buying a coffee,
yeah,
right, and I'm paying, because it's what, close to $50 for a coffee now.
Yeah.
Probably cost them around 20. But then I'm very particular. Like, there's certain coffee shops that I'm like, no, I don't like the coffee from here.
Yeah.
But if I go to somebody's house, I will drink your instant coffee, as long as it's not chicory, and as long as it's not those ones that come in the sachet, that cappuccino mix.
Yeah.
Well, that's
the thing is, you don't know. I was saying to
No, you do.
Mateo, hold on, I was saying to Mateo earlier, in my carte blanche life, we often did interviews in people's homes. And obviously, what do people offer you? Tea or coffee?
Yeah. Then I would always choose tea.
I learned
also
the hard
tea,
way.
I'm very particular.
Tea's tea.
No, it's not. It's not.
Tell me.
They all taste different. I'll only drink Five Roses. They all taste different. And then I learned something last year, a year a bit ago, which changed my life. I think we discussed this, while the kettle's boiling, you wet the tea bag. Just wet it. Don't rinse it. Don't drain it. Don't go take it for a 5-hour soak.
Yeah.
Just rinse, just quick
Wet
little,
it.
and put it in your tea bag while the kettle boils.
Yeah.
And then make your tea. And it tastes different, and it tastes amazing.
I'm going to try and remember that. Let's talk about sport.
Oh, yeah.
Liverpool.
Okay.
Liverpool in action last night, Premier League action.
Yeah, my actual job. A heated Premier League clash ending with Liverpool.
Soaked.
When I'm not soaking tea bags. Bongani. I'm also not staying up to watch late soccer games. But Liverpool beat a 10-man Newcastle 3-2. Liverpool were 2 up through Gravenberch and Ekiteke on either side of Gordon's red card. Newcastle came back through Guimarães and Asulo, and a 2-all 16-year-old Rio Ngomoa on Premier League debut turned hero, scoring Liverpool's winner 10 minutes into stoppage time.
And I'm buzzing, so happy, to score, especially the winner. What a good moment, special feeling. Yeah, definitely happy.
5 games in the Betway Premiership tonight. All are televised, including Orlando Pirates hosting Orbit College. At the US Open, the first major upset, a 6th seed Madison Keys was knocked out by Zaragoza 6-7, 7-6 and 6-3. Keys made 89 unforced errors and 14 double faults.
I feel like today I was just, for the first time in a while, where my nerves really got the better of me, and it kind of became a little bit paralyzing. I felt like I was just slow. I wasn't seeing things the way that I wanted to, which I feel like resulted in a lot of bad decisions and lazy footwork. So I feel like that's kind of the summary.
So Venus Williams, the oldest player to compete since 1981, was beaten by Makova 6-3, 2-6 and 6-1. Also out, the 12 seeds Svetlina. Top seeds to go to the second round are Andreeva and Rybakina. On the men's side, no upset. Second seed Alcaraz, the straight sets win over Opelka. South African Lloyd Harris through to the second round. He beat Sebastian by a 6-3, 7-6 and 6-4, and will meet Taylor Fritz next.
Just for your information, remember yesterday we had a whole conversation about Djokovic and why he continues to play. I found this episode where he's being interviewed on the Jay Shetty podcast.
Yes.
And Shetty asks him if he's done enough with his career, and have a listen to what his answer was.
Yes, and more than that. And at the same time, I still want to do more. I know that comes in a big part from a good place, meaning from a place of purpose, inspiration, motivation, love for the sport, passion for the sport, passion to make people happy when they watch me. But what comes from maybe a less of a good place is my feeling of not being enough. And that goes back to my very, very beginning of my life and my relationship, particularly with my father, and not doing enough, not being good enough. So now that I'm talking about it, I kind of get emotional about it because it's still deep inside of me. It's kind of the battle that I also go through often. Because a lot of people, even closest people in my life, ask me, what more do you want? You have achieved everything. Why do you keep going? And I tell them that I still really strongly feel it's inside of me that as long as I have the capacity or ability to compete for the biggest titles in my sport, I want to keep going.
Feeling of not being good enough, hey? Even for Djokovic.
So I think, nail on the head. I think if you had to sit down with the majority of sportsmen, I would say 98% of them did it for their parents because their parents pushed them, their parents wanted it, it would really, I'd be surprised if they said, I did it for me.
Cindy Peluta, EWN Sports.
Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko. Your vote is not just a click. It's a thank you, a nod, a way of saying we see you. Vote for your favorite local business now on primemediaplus.com.
Corporates that care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch it this Wednesday at 10 to 9 featuring Akwele. Their marketing manager, Sharon Combrink, will be in conversation with us, and we do this on Wednesdays to highlight brands dedicated to building our country. 702, let's walk the talk and together make a difference.
There's power in a single partner who helps you build a better employee benefits strategy. Begin with retirement, the foundation of securing your employee's future. Now layer in everyday health, mental wellness, and financial balance. And finally, essential protection for life's curveballs, from illness to income loss. Now that sounds like a complete benefit strategy, one that protects your people and powers your business. Talk to us at employeebenefits@oldmutual.com about Old Mutual Corporate's integrated employee benefits solutions. Old Mutual Corporate is a division of Old Mutual Life Assurance Company SA Limited, a licensed FSP and life insurer. T's and C's apply.
Psst. Hey, no longer feeling like the man you used to be? The man who introduces himself and people say, I know.
The fact is, 95% of men with low testosterone go untreated.
Vitamin High Performance Supplements for men helps recharge energy, regain lean muscle, and reload performance. Available at all good pharmacies and Vitalamin.co.za.
Vitalamin.
Don't get older, get better.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Hello, Uncle Bongani. My name is Tendo and I go to Kireville. I am 13 years old and I want to be a mechanical engineer when I grow up, and I'm excited to play the Whiz Quiz.
We can't wait to play the Whiz Quiz with you. 10,000 Rand, Tendo. How does that sound?
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
This Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. That crash on the N12 East. Amo?
Yeah, in the South Crest area, Bongani, it's causing heavy traffic volumes coming out of the Reading interchange. Please be on the lookout there. About a 20-minute hold-up already between the Reading turn-off and the Geldenhuys interchange. While staying in the east, we've got heavier traffic volumes on the N17. Remember those roadworks along the N17 West between Carnival City and the Rondebolt Road exit. About a 30-minute hold-up there, so please be patient and drive with care. We'll have more updates. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car full of groceries and a lady who will be attempting to make her mother-in-law's famous recipe for the family dinner tonight. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic, it's butterflies and a potential bonding moment. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Mzansi, get ready to panda, pusher, play Powerball and Powerball Plus for 76 million Rand in total estimated jackpots this Tuesday. That's right, play Powerball for an estimated 31 million Rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 45 million Rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120*7529# for USSD. Panda, Pusha, Play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
Ah, Shane, do you have a sore throat? The Andalex range of lozenges offers two options. At the first signs of an irritated, scratchy throat, use Andalex lozenges for dual action, soothing relief. But for a painful, inflamed throat, use Andalex C lozenges for triple action, pain relief. Andalex, SA's #1 choice for a sore mouth and throat. Andalex lozenges are available at all leading pharmacies and supermarkets.
Just Andalex it.
Let's talk tills. Most just take money. But what if your till could think for you? Introducing Yoko Counter, the smartest till you'll ever own. Cut guesswork and save time with integrated payments, real-time reports, seamless stock management, and easy staff tracking. It's all connected right there on one device. Upgrade to Yoko Counter at yoko.com.
Coming up in the next hour, What's the Question? Brought to you by Outsurance. 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. You send us an answer based on something you heard on the show. Simply WhatsApp us your name and the answer to 072 702 1702 and you could win big. Someone else will ask a question to get to your answer and they could also win. So SMS out to 45142 now to save on your car insurance.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Give away some money, shall we? Today we're playing with Tendo, who is 13 years old and goes to Kuro Vichelhevel High School. And Tendo, are you ready to play?
Yes, I am.
Yes, you are, says a confident 13-year-old voice. KG, start the clock. Spell the word butter.
Butter.
Correct. What beginning with I is a huge mass of frozen water drifting in the ocean?
Ice.
Iceberg is the answer I was looking for there. I'll look at the producers to see if they accept your answer. Does the word recall mean forget or remember?
Remember.
Correct. In which province is the town Richards Bay?
Eastern Cape.
KwaZulu-Natal. What sport does Dewald Brevis play for South Africa?
Rugby.
Cricket. 8 times 4 is?
36.
32. How many public holidays does South Africa have in February? None or one?
One.
None. Which ocean is between Morocco and the United States?
Repeat.
Which ocean is between Morocco and the United States?
Atlantic Ocean.
Correct. Which gas is used in balloons to make them? I can't complete the question.
Helium.
Atlantic Ocean was correct. Helium was also a correct answer to a question I didn't complete. They'll give you ice. We were looking for iceberg, but the producers say, the judges I should rather call them, say you can have ice. And that means, Tendo, you walk away with 400 Rand. 4 correct answers.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Current events. Developing stories.
Tough questions.
Your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
All right, let's talk SASSA now, the South African Social Security Agency. They lose millions to fraudulent applications. And so from next week, if you want to apply for a grant or change your details or renew your file, it's not enough to just hand over paperwork. You have to place your finger on a scanner or look into a camera. It's called a biometric enrollment, and it's their new weapon to fight fraud and to stop ghost payments. We're joined now by Brenton van Vrede, who is, of course, the Executive Manager for Grants Administration at SASSA. Brenton, good morning to you, and thank you for your time once again.
Good morning, Bongani, and good morning to your listeners as well.
All right, so obviously, as I say, this will be to combat fraudulent applications. Beginning on September the 1st, no application can move forward without biometrics.
So, yes, we are planning full rollout of our biometric system from 1 September. We have been doing some pilots since April this year just to make sure all systems are working, the business processes are flowing accordingly. And we've been quite comfortable with that, so we believe we're ready for full-scale rollout.
The rationale makes sense to me in terms of combating fraud and restoring public trust, but will it be practically applicable for every SASSA recipient?
So we're not targeting every single applicant, every single SASSA recipient. As you know, we've got over 12 million social grant recipients, and then on the SRD we have about another 8 million or so. So it's for new applicants. We're not going to be taking any new applications. On average, we get about 1.8 million new applicants a year. And then obviously every time you come in to do a review, change your contact details, etc., we'll also use that opportunity to capture your biometrics. So we're not going to we're not going to call everyone in at once to come in and biometrically enroll. That will obviously take a few years for us to do. But for now, the main goal is to deal with all new applications.
And of course, if I am a recipient and need to change information in that way, you might get mine.
Yes. So every transaction in a local office or online will require biometrics. So if it's something simple like changing contact details, we'll use that opportunity when we see you to enroll you in the biometric system.
Are there enough safeguards to ensure that this rollout doesn't collapse under pressure, especially in this first month or so?
So we have various risk mitigation measures in place, even as much as full rollback and reverting to a manual system if we have a system crash. So we don't foresee, if the worst case scenario happens, we'll still be able to at least proceed with normal business. But obviously we're not planning on having worst case scenario. But yes, we do have various overrides, etc., in place. I think one of the biggest challenges is often the slowness or the downtime in the link between ourselves and Home Affairs. So we do allow also for an override on that one where we still capture your biometrics, and when the systems come online later, we then process those biometrics.
There's also some controversy around the master services agreement with Postbank. SASSA wants to walk away from that deal. What will that mean for those who get paid via Postbank?
So yes, we have issued a termination notice to Postbank. That master service level agreement has been running for a while. You will recall you may recall about 2 years ago or so, we used to run cash pay points, and we used to run over-the-counter services at Post Office. But when Post Office ran into their liquidation challenges, that master service level agreement was then ceded to Postbank, and eventually, SAPO completely withdrew from that services. We closed the cash pay points and the over-the-counter services at post offices. So essentially, that service level agreement has become redundant. Just unfortunate that it had an 18-month exit clause, which we've issued to them last year sometime, and that then comes to an end now in September. So Postbank essentially Postbank's a bank, and they will be treated like any other bank in the country. We pay money directly into people's bank accounts, so we don't foresee they will continue servicing their clients as a normal bank, and we'll continue making deposits into those bank accounts as we do with every other bank.
I appreciate your time. Brenton van Vrede, who's the Executive Manager for Grants Administration at SASSA, one of the most critical institutions in the country, I would argue. Almost half the population depends on it. Trust is fragile. Anything that convinces South Africans that the controls are tight and that the system works well for those who need it is welcome news.
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
Did the Minister of Tourism interfere and provide political cover with the suspended SA Tourism CEO? Up next, Patricia de Lille.
This is EWN.
Deputy National Police Commissioner Shadrack Sibiya to square up with his senior in court, and health services come to Tembisa via a train. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. A legal battle between senior cops Shadrack Sibiya and Fani Masemola is set to play out in the Pretoria High Court this morning. General Sibiya, who is Deputy Commissioner for Crime Detection, approached the court to challenge his suspension by the National Commissioner after KZN top cop Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi implicated him in explosive allegations last month. Mkhwanazi claimed that Sibiya interfered in the work of the KZN Political Killings Task Team, which was investigating a drug syndicate in Gauteng, an allegation that Sibiya has denied. Khomotso Modise has more.
KZN top cop General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi accused General Shadrack Sibiya of meddling in the work of the Political Killings Task Team by issuing letters to disband it, halting crime intelligence appointments, and withdrawing case dockets. These are the allegations that prompted his suspension by National Police Commissioner Fani Masemola. Initially, Sibiya was happy to stay home pending the outcome of the Commission of Inquiry into Mkhwanazi's allegations. But he's now made a U-turn, claiming the National Commissioner does not have the power to suspend him and that the decision was taken for ulterior purposes and in bad faith. Now, just days before the Police Commission of Inquiry, the top cops are set to battle it out today in the Pretoria High Court, where the application is set to be heard. Khomotso Modise, Eyewitness News.
The friends of a 20-year-old woman who was stabbed to death allegedly by her ex-boyfriend says she was in an abusive relationship with her alleged attacker. Lazarus Antonio was arrested last Friday after being identified as a prime suspect in the murder of Gaugelo Morota in the Northwest. It's alleged he killed her last Thursday, then released footage of the scene on his social media accounts. He later stabbed his current girlfriend, who survived the attack and had to be hospitalized. Antonio appeared in the Temba Magistrates Court yesterday on charges of murder and attempted murder. Marota's friend, Katleho Mahwae, says Gaugelo had a protection order against Antonio because of a history of violence in their relationship.
Until I don't know Initially he showed her love until a certain point, and he changed and he became abusive towards her, and she would come to me telling me that he carries weapons and that he would force her to do things that she didn't want to do.
Basic Education Minister Siviwe Kwagube says the regulations of the Bella Act cannot be rushed because of political machinations. Kwagube has also dismissed statements by some members of the Basic Education Portfolio Committee that the regulations are being delayed to avoid implementing the Act in its totality. Last week, committee chairperson Joy Maimela expressed their discontent at the releasing of only 2 regulations, saying this creates confusion in the sector. Babalondense reports.
The department earlier this month released 2 out of the 8 Bella Act regulations, which focus mainly on admission and the minimum norms for school capacity. This has caused frustration among some in the ANC, who have called for all the regulations to be released. But Minister Siviwe Kwagube says there's no delay, reminding members that the National Health Insurance Act regulations took 18 months to develop.
Of course, what's most important to us is to make sure that South Africans have an opportunity to comment on these, so that whatever the final product is, it's influenced by the public comments process. But we can't rush this. It's important that it's not be rushed because of political machinations.
Kwagube says they must be guided by how the process works and how legislation development works through the recommendations of the Chief State Law Advisor. Babalondense, Eyewitness News, Cape Town.
And finally, for the next 2 weeks, Tembisa residents will benefit from dental, optometry and general health services all on a train. The mobile clinic offers dental care for a mere 10 Rand, with medication available for 5 Rand. Residents can also access optometry, psychology and general health checkups, making healthcare more accessible to those who need it the most. Mongezi Koko has more.
The 19-coach Pilopepa train operated by the Transnet Foundation had previously been stationed in Olifantsfontein, but now rolls into Tembisa, bringing quality healthcare straight to the community, all on track. Staffed by doctors, nurses, dentists, optometrists and psychologists, the team will be serving residents until next Friday. And if you think healthcare can't be fun, think again. The train's got everything from teeth to eyes and even a little mental health TLC. Transnet says the train represents its commitment to ensuring healthcare reaches every corner of South Africa, especially underserved communities. The mobile clinic will continue to visit communities like Tembisa to keep healthcare on the move. Mongezi Koko, Eyewitness News.
Gold is trading at $3,373.41 an ounce. The rand is at 17.60 to the dollar, 23.70 to the pound, 20.48 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $68.53 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy delays on the N12 East between the Reading interchange and the Elands interchange due to a major accident seen in the South Crest area. As a result, people are using Fort Drucker Road to try and avoid the scene. If you're traveling in Boksburg, bumper-to-bumper traffic on the N17 West between the Carnival City entrance and the R21 off-ramp due to roadworks.
And in your sport, Liverpool beat a 10-man Newcastle 3-2 with 16-year-old Ngomoa scoring the winner 10 minutes into stoppage time. 5 games in the Betway Premiership tonight, including Pirates hosting Orbit. And at the US Open, the pressure gets to 6th seed Madison Keys, who was knocked out in the first round.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. Johannesburg starting at 11 degrees, peaking at 29. Pretoria 14 and 28. Vereeniging 5 and 29 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. A legal battle between senior cops Shadrack Sibiya and Fani Masemola is set to play out in the Pretoria High Court this morning.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Show up for the finalist who showed up for you. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko. Vote for your favorite local business now on primediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Walking the talk, it's 8 minutes after 7 o'clock. So just to provide some clarity there on the SASSA issue with their biometrics rollout, as I said earlier, there are many people receiving SASSA grants who are not eligible for those, but because of rampant fraud in the system, they're able to get away with it. And SASSA is saying no more. But to be clear, they're also saying they're not targeting current or existing recipients with the system at this stage. They're really targeting those who are new applicants, and they won't delay your matter because they still, of course, have your information from, say, the Department for Home Affairs. But this system is going to be rolled out over time, and eventually it will include those who are existing recipients. So, for example, if you need to make changes, maybe you've moved, or banking details or anything of that nature, that's when the system will then affect you in terms of that rollout. So just wanted to make sure that there's absolute clarity on that one.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
You could ask a question, are we safe? Are we safe? The top echelons of the South African police services seem to me to be in complete disarray. We've got a minister who is no longer a minister, but is still a minister. This is Senzo Mkhunu. We've now got a replacement of that minister. How long he lasts in the job is yet to be determined. Of course, we've got a commission that's looking into the KZN police commissioner's allegations, and he's made some stunning ones about the police force in general and interference, pointing the finger at the suspended police minister. We now have the two top cops. This is the National Police Commissioner, Fani Masemola, and his deputy, duking it out in court. Do you see how distracted? I mean, if nothing else, I think it's fair to say the leadership of SAPS is distracted. You have to say that as a fair comment. So who is looking at the criminals? And I understand the rank and file are carrying on with their jobs and carrying on with their lives, doing their work. I understand that. But leadership is a thing, is it not? Because even if Shadrack Sibiya is able to overturn his suspension, how is he going to work with his boss if things have come this far? Right? And isn't this where the political leadership should be stepping in to deal with this matter? But we don't have a minister. We've got a minister, not a minister. Sada.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
Up next, we're going to be speaking to the Minister of Tourism, Patricia de Lille. This is over her controversial disbandment of the SA Tourism Board following its suspension of the CEO. I played you some audio from last week's Money Show with Stephen Grootes, where he had a candid conversation with Wayne Duvenage, the CEO of the organization Undoing Tax Abuse, about exactly that matter. And just to bring you up to speed ahead of the conversation with the Tourism Minister, this is part of the criticism. Duvenage, you could argue, didn't mince his words.
Our view is that the minister should retract this decision or the president should fire her. It's that simple. Wow. I'll tell you why. We seldom see enough boards on these state entities that have a good mixture, representation, leadership, not filled with politicians. And this SA Tourism Board has got an array of leaders in the tourism industry, an excellent board, good governance. And what they've done is acted on an Auditor General's report and a forensic report which corroborated the Auditor General's report that there's gross misconduct, financial misconduct by the CEO. And they haven't fired her. They want a disciplinary hearing to take place and let the course run. They've got these reports 3 months ago, so they have to start acting, because in labour law you can't just keep these things in limbo. The chairperson has resigned. I think he was under pressure from the board that something has to happen, and he's ducked. And they're not out of line. They're not acting unlawfully. And all they've done is what is legally they're empowered to do. And the minister, instead of engaging with the board, she's protecting the CEO.
In fact, he went so far, Wayne Duvenage, as to suggest that the minister might end up with egg on her face for dissolving this board.
What's going to happen here? Patricia de Lille is going to get egg on her face. What she should have done is taken a little bit more time, engaged with the board. Imagine not engaging with the board meaningfully to find out and get to the bottom of this. Just sending them a mail last week to say, tell me why I shouldn't dismiss you, and then dismissing them after they've responded to and given all the good, valid answers. So we've done some research. We've engaged with industry leaders on this. We've looked at the matter. We need to celebrate strong boards that stand up against, and we're not saying the past CEO or the CEO is corrupt. We're saying that there's mismanagement of finances and it needs to be investigated, and that's what they want to do, and put her through a disciplinary hearing because she has transgressed her roles.
We'll speak to Patricia de Lille next.
702. Up next.
The Big Interview.
EWN Traffic.
14 after 7, this Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Heavy delays on the N17. Amo?
Yes, Bongani, due to those long-term roadworks taking place on the N17 West between the Carnival City entrance and Rondebolt Road, about a 20-minute hold-up there. And then if you're traveling on the same route towards the South Crest area, we've got an accident reported right after Osborne Road causing heavy delays. More updates coming up after the big interview.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Clever late excuse number 84. Your dog ran out of the gate and you had to chase him for 2 kilometers. Well, fortunately, the Outsurance pointsmen are on the roads, and that means you no longer have to come up with creative excuses for being late. The Outsurance pointsmen easing traffic congestion and getting you there quickly and safely since 2005. Outsurance really means it when they say you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Tip your way to glory in the Hollywood Bets Punters Challenge, the free-to-play horse racing game with daily cash giveaways and massive jackpot prizes. Pick all the winners on the race card and you could win 100,000 Rand. Bet 50 Rand or more on your selections using the Bet Slip feature and you could walk away with 1 million Rand. Visit punterschallenge.hollywoodbets.net today and tip your way to the top. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008.
It's time to eat, dance and celebrate. The DSTV Delicious Festival powered by Lotto Star is serving up 2 days of world-class entertainment from international acts to SA's finest artists, alongside culinary masterpieces from the best local chefs. Browse fashion and art, take part in live cooking demonstrations, soak up the festival's electric atmosphere. Saturday, 20 September is for you and your crew. Sunday, 21 September, family picnic vibes. DSTV is turning 30 and you're invited to the party. One ticket, endless experiences. Tickets at Ticketmaster. More on deliciousfestival.com.
For over 200,000 businesses, Yoko has been there, backing the brave, simplifying payments with our legendary Little Blue Card Machine. We've built a legacy of making businesses run smarter. Now, meet the next generation of smart. Yoko Counter. It's the smartest till you'll ever own. Your all-in-one hub for seamless payments, crystal clear recons, effortless stock control, and efficient staff management. Yoko Counter. Level up at yoko.com.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
17 minutes after 7 o'clock, South Africa's tourism sector is at a crossroads. You remember, of course, last week, Minister Patricia de Lille dissolved the board of SA Tourism, the very board she appointed herself. The CEO, Nombulelo Guliwe, remains suspended amid allegations of irregular financial transactions. Critics are saying this is political interference. They're citing lack of transparency, and they're saying the unstable leadership is threatening the sector's recovery. We've invited the minister to help us understand her decision and some of the allegations that are now in the public domain. Minister, always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for your time.
Good morning, Bongani.
They're calling you Dictator de Lille. Are you?
Let me say there's absolutely no crisis in the tourism sector. We just had a one-day execution lab yesterday with the full sector. The Tourism Business Council, all of them were there. So there's no crisis. The second point is that for the past week, a lot of lies has been peddled out there and serious allegations made. The one thing that's always comforting to me is that the truth always survives. So if I must implement and uphold the law and the Constitution, which I've done with the first board, that's also become an issue now, as if I'm in the habit of dissolving boards. In the first board that I dissolved, we saved the country 1.2 billion rand. But I was further vindicated by an SIU report that said action needed to be taken against those people because they are delinquent. Now, in this particular case, it didn't just happen like last night and the morning I wake up and I'm in a bad mood and I then decide to dissolve the board. I actually have records. I've got minutes. I've got recordings of where we were discussing these issues, where the first thing that I expressed my concern with them about was a very SIU report that they received in April already. And in July, it was still not attended to. Also, the CEO wrote letters to them complaining about senior officials and allegations, and nothing was done about that. Concerning the CEO, Bongani, is that she remains suspended. And the new board, and I'm meeting with them on Friday, the board that will be there for the interim before I go out and advertise and get qualified and experienced people, they will be dealing and taking that matter forward. So I'm not interfering. It's my duty to intervene when I see things are not going right.
All right. You talked about serious allegations that have been made in the public domain. So let's start with a couple of them. Former board members, for example, arguing that the August 1st meeting, which you cited as part of the justification for dissolving this board, never in fact took place. What's your response to that?
Oh, no. I've heard it all over the media.
Yeah.
Now, if a meeting didn't take place, how did you then arrive at a resolution? And the resolution was to appoint Mr. Lawson Naidu as a board representative. That doesn't exist in legislation. It was hours after the Professor Davids resigned that they called this meeting and appointed Mr. Naidu, because since he came onto the board, he always wanted to be the chair. and they saw an opportunity now to appoint him as a representative. They could have just said to me, Minister, can you appoint an acting chairperson? But they just had a full quarterly board meeting on the 31st of August. And in the 31st of August, the chair informed them that they are resigning. What was
Let's just make sure,
yes.
Minister, let's just make sure we're clear on the dates, because
Yes.
obviously today is still the 26th of August. Do you mean 31st of July?
Sorry. Oh, thank you for reminding me. Sorry about that. Yes, 31st of July. I'm so sorry about
All right,
that.
so the meeting
and
on
then
so
board
this couldn't this have
Yes.
been resolved then? In other words, the meeting on the 1st, I'm just quibbling with this date of the 1st of August. What certainty do you have that such a meeting took place on that day?
Well, the thing, because they produced a resolution, and the resolution appointed Mr. Naidu as the board representative, and they claim they'd have done it with in terms of their fiduciary duties. But even fiduciary duties must be exercised and applied according to the law. So, I think it's just semantics.
All right. Okay.
Because the proof is there of the resolution.
All right. Let's talk about the suspension of the CEO. She had been cited by the previous board, the one you mentioned earlier, as being unsuitable for the job. Now former board member, Opa Pulane Pilane, beg your pardon, has written a piece in which he says she wasn't even the preferred first choice candidate this time around, and that you took her name to cabinet and excluded the name of the preferred candidate, basically suggesting you misled cabinet. What's your response to that?
Yes, if that was the case, why is he only bringing it up now? The process that was followed at the time, the SAT board appointed an independent company to do the recruitment and the interviews and the competency test and everything. Then the board then made a recommendation to me. The next process then is that I have to go to cabinet to get cabinet concurrence. And that is exactly what I did. I was not involved in the actual interviews and the recruitments and all of that.
No, that's fair. But did you go to cabinet with the name of Nombulelo Kuliwe as the preferred CEO?
Yes, because the board made that recommendation to me.
They said she was second on the list.
Well, I will have to go and check, but that was the recommendation I got from the previous board.
Yes, they're saying now, hold on, Minister, just for clarity, hold on. They're saying she was second on that list. In fact, there's even the suggestion that the previous board, as I said to you earlier, had said that she was unsuitable. She'd already faced disciplinary action then. How was this then the name you say was your first choice to take to cabinet?
It was not my first choice. I'm just telling you. The board made the recommendation to me, and I took the recommendation to cabinet. What I am asking, if Opa had felt so aggrieved, in terms of the law, he could have challenged it. He could have said, but why did you put this candidate number one? Because I was number one, and we could have dealt with the matter. Why is he raising it only now?
All right. Well, I'm asking you, though.
I will definitely go and investigate. But I can tell you, I got a recommendation from the board, and I wasn't part of the process. I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just saying to you that was the process followed at the time.
Minister, I need clarity, because of course the board will make a recommendation and they'll give you a list of names ranked in a particular order, and you've confirmed in this. Hold on, Minister.
No,
yeah?
They didn't give me a list and a ranking. They gave me a recommendation.
Of only one name?
Of only one name, and that's the name that I took to cabinet.
So there was no other candidate.
What I will do, Bongani,
I
will go and I'm just going into an interview now. Once I get back to the office later on, I will.
You're still in one, Minister.
I will send you all the documentation. I'm sure Opa has sent that to you too, and then I will give you the process that I followed after the recommendation. But I'm still saying that if he's aggrieved, please, there are laws that also makes provision for him to challenge it. He must please challenge it. I'm not trying to dismiss what he is saying.
Here's the difficulty, Minister. Many of us watch the failure of state-owned entities, and when, at least on the face of it, it appears a board is doing something to protect an entity, that's kind of thing we all want to applaud as South Africans. And let's talk now about the CEO that was suspended. There are many questions around her own actions, payments to suppliers for services never delivered, overseas trips, all kinds of issues, questions raised against her. And now the assertion is that you're giving her political cover. All because there was a meeting all because of one meeting.
Absolutely nonsense. People must come with proof. Because as we are speaking right now, the CEO remains suspended. The new board has come in, and they will now take that matter further. So there's no cover up from anybody.
Well, let me tell you what the Sunday Times said. The Sunday Times said there was a report that recently surfaced from the previous board that raised questions about the CEO. That's the one that said she was grossly unsuitable for the job. And the argument is that following that, that's when they were fired.
If you want to talk about the dissolution of the board and the reasons for the dissolution of the board, it has got nothing to do with the allegations against the CEO. That must be tested, and the new board will take that forward. The dissolution of the board came because they didn't follow due process, and it was not the first time. I warned them on the 4th of July, again in a letter on the 13th of July. They claimed there was no meeting on the 1st of August, but they took a resolution. I don't know whether the resolution fell from the sky or something. That is what I am following up. And I have been advised by senior counsel to say, Minister, this is the right procedure that you followed. So that is what I am accountable to do. The board now will have to test all of those allegations against the CEO. My role was to say to the board on the 4th of July, certain outstanding things, serious allegations of corruption on a letter dated the 10th of June to you. Why did you not act? Recommendations from the SIU about also serious allegations. Why have you not acted against it? And that is the information that I will share with you. It's in writing. So the CEO matter is a separate matter, and the law must take its course. I will never protect anybody. But let's test the allegations, and she must answer for it. And then the board will then make a recommendation afterwards as to whether she must be dismissed or whether whatever they want to do. I'm
Minister,
not interfering in those processes, Bongani.
We started this interview with you saying that the sector is stable, but you would also agree...
It is stable.
Well, you would also agree... Hold on. You'd also agree that if you don't have a board, you don't have a CEO. You've had board after board. You've had some acting in the interim, some resigning.
Listen,
There's now a chair and a deputy chair who are gone.
You must go and read. Please, I'm asking you to go and read. Because it's obviously that you are just picking up on what this one is screaming about and that. There's a lot of noise here.
But no, hold on, Minister. I have read. Haven't we had board changes over the last 4 years?
But one board change, which I was vindicated by the SIU to dissolve them. This is the second board. What happened before?
Yes, because you've just come in.
No.
I'm saying there's a history of this.
No. If you say I'm a dictator, I'm happy with that. Because if it means because I'm implementing and upholding the law and constitution, you can call me whatever you want to call me. But you are missing the point, Bongani. That's my point. And that's why I say you must read. Yeah. The chairperson and the deputy chairperson that I removed before, not a board, and I kept them on the board, they chose to resign, was because the Portfolio Committee of Parliament raised the concerns that of all these unauthorized board meetings, and they've also spent almost 900,000 rand in the first 6 months of the board on board fees. I interacted with the board. The board said, Minister, but we've got 5 million rand. I said, no, you don't. You don't. Go and read. You have got 1.4 million rand for board fees, not 5 million rand. So you know what? I will fall on my sword if I did wrong.
Yeah.
But when I had the facts and I had to act against that, I didn't remove them from the board. They decided to resign.
But you would accept if an entity doesn't have a chair for the board, doesn't have a deputy chair, the CEO is suspended.
There's no crisis.
All right.
There is now a board, and there's now a board, and the board will appoint an acting CEO.
This is now the interim board, yeah?
Exactly. So
right.
there's no crisis whatsoever.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll leave it on that word. Patricia de Lille, Minister of Tourism, thank you for clarifying.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for clarifying. Minister Patricia de Lille there saying there is no crisis.
EWN Traffic.
This Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Amo?
Well, Bongani, we still have got delays on the N17 West between Carnival City and the R21. This is due to roadworks. Please be on the lookout there and drive with care and expect about a 30-minute hold up. More details coming up shortly.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
If you want to save on your car insurance premium, you call Outsurance, right? But what if you don't save? Well, they'll give you cash just for trying. You heard right. Just ask for 500 Rand cash. But wait, there's more. If you don't save and have been claim-free and with the same insurer for 3 years, you can ask them for 1,500 Rand cash. Savings or cash, you always get something out.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
EWN Business.
All right, let's see if Montero, you've been reading, hey? Oil and chemical giant SASSA swinging back into profit?
Yeah, SASSA says its performance has rebounded over the last year with earnings improving. The energy company says it was able to improve earnings despite a tough economic environment and weaker oil prices. SASSA says it expects an $80 million hit or 1.4 billion rand hit from the 30% tariffs imposed by the US and plans to mitigate some of those losses. SASSA has committed to purchasing 723 million rand worth of carbon credits, triple the amount it purchased in 2023. Now, carbon credits are permits which allow a country or organization to produce a certain amount of carbon emissions. And of course, SASSA, one of the highest emitters of carbon in the country.
All right, where's the rand? Is it well oiled?
It's well oiled at this hour, 17 Rand 60 against the US dollar, 20 Rand 47 cents against the euro, and 23 Rand 65 cents against the British pound. Price of gold's also up at $3,374 an ounce, while platinum is up 1.5% at $1,343. Brent crude keeping low at $68.46 a barrel. More business after 8.
We are a little bit behind on the news. We do apologize for that, but we had to resolve some of those issues with Minister de Lille. Let's start in the capital, Swisa Zulu.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. The City of Tshwane says it's considering its options after failing to overturn a court judgment which declared its cleansing levy unlawful. Yesterday, the High Court in Pretoria dismissed the Metro's application's leave to appeal its earlier decision striking down the levy. The 194 Rand monthly charge was targeted at businesses and residential properties that use private waste collection. City of Tshwane spokesperson Selby Bukaba says they'll continue with their fight.
The city will seek the advice of senior legal counsel on the implications of the judgment and to determine the way forward. Tshwane has 1 month within which to appeal today's judgment.
It's emerged that the two suspects linked to the murders of ANC councillor Sindiso Magaqa and DA councillor Nhlayenza Ndlovu are known to each other. This comes after one of the accused was found with a cell phone and notebook in prison containing the contact details of the second suspect. Stanley Skosana, who is accused of murdering Magaqa, returned to the Umzimkhulu Magistrates Court for cross-examination yesterday in a bid for bail. Nhlanhla Mabaso was there.
During cross-examination in the high-profile murder case yesterday,
Yesterday, State Prosecutor Advocate Lawrence Xaba led evidence from a witness statement implicating Skhosana. While at it, he took a different turn, questioning his relationship with Eric Zuma, who is accused of killing DA Umgeni local municipality chief whip Nhlalayenza Ndlovu, who was shot and killed in December 2023. Ndlovu was killed in full view of his wife Patricia de Lille and their little children. Advocate Xaba questioned Skhosana about Ndlovu.
He is also applying for bail in the Harwich Magistrates Court for a politically related killing, same as you. You understand? What is of interest to the investigating team is that we are going to lead evidence in that bail application of him paying people to stop from coming to testify against him. Similar to you.
While Skhosana admitted they met and exchanged contact details in prison, he refused to comment while Xaba pointed to similarities between them. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News, Umzimkhulu.
In the Western Cape High Court, the court has heard about a sophisticated software crime intelligence that they use to intercept cell phone recordings. This was during the case of alleged underworld gang boss Jerome Donkey Boyson and 11 others yesterday. They are all on trial in the High Court for the murder of steroid king Brian Weinstein, who was shot dead in 2017. While the trial has been running, alleged underworld figures Mark Liffman and Andre Naudé, along with 3 other accused, have been killed. Carlo Peterson has more.
A crime intelligence colonel testified yesterday about cell phone recordings extracted from the phones of alleged underworld figures Jerome Boyson, Andre Naudé and Mark Liffman. One of the files show crime intelligence officers were monitoring Boyson, Naudé and Liffman's calls since 2015. However, when the state attempted to play the recordings in court, the file containing the phone calls was found to be corrupted. After proceedings were delayed when the colonel struggled to play the recordings from his laptop, State Prosecutor Nathan Adrianse explained why the software was so complex.
I inquired from the member of OIC that I spoke to, and he said it's because of the fact that if this laptop is to come into the wrong hands, the ordinary person would not be able to know how to use the software that is on the laptop.
A trial within a trial for the court to decide whether the cell phone recordings can be used as evidence in court is set to continue today. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
And Donald Trump has announced that he will fire Federal Reserve official Lisa Cook from her position, a major escalation in the U.S. president's battle against the central bank. In an announcement made on social media platform Truth Social, Trump posted a letter addressed to Cook in which he informs her of his decision to remove her from the bank's board of governors with immediate effect. He says there's sufficient reason to believe that she had made false statements on mortgage agreements and cited constitutional powers, which he says allowed him to remove her. Cook has responded saying Trump has no authority to fire her and she will not resign. A fine day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures are at lows of 5 and 11 degrees, peaking at highs between 28 and 29.
That's bumper-to-bumper traffic on the N3 North between the Elands interchange and the Kilulis interchange. While traveling in Kempton Park, an accident has been reported. This is along the R21 North right after the OR Tambo interchange, and it's causing heavy delays.
The top story this hour, the city of Tshwane says it's considering its options after failing to overturn a court judgment which declared its cleansing levy unlawful.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
Some of the sitters have now threatened to take the minister to court. Is your sitter one of those?
I think minister first has to give us the reasons in writing why we're under administration.
I'm trying to be clear here. Are you threatening to take the minister to court?
We are not threatening per se. We are exercising the rights that are available in law when a decision has been made and you are not satisfied with it.
So if you're not satisfied with the reasons he gives, you are going to take him to court?
We are likely if we are not satisfied with the reasons given.
Malusi Shezi, CEO of the Construction and Education Training Authority.
Clements Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
The South African Future Trust Summit is fast approaching. It's a premium entrepreneurial showcase returning to the Sandton Convention Centre on the 5th and 6th of November. International local speakers sharing groundbreaking insights from their entrepreneurial journeys. It's an unmatched opportunity to network with like-minded entrepreneurs, innovators, investors, change makers, 2,000 plus delegates, over 200 exhibitors, all under one roof. Come and experience the extraordinary world of thriving entrepreneurs and business owners. Avoid missing out and get your ticket now. Only 1,800 Rand each for the 2 days at summit.southafricanfuturetrust.org in partnership with 702.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for real estate agencies, law firms, computer services, and more. Jacqueline?
We saved a lot of money when we switched over from another insurance company to Business Outsurance. We've had some claims and they were friendly and efficient and paid out when they promised.
Switch to Business Outsurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Fly Safair is making it even easier to reach your Eastern Cape favorites. That's right, we'll soon be flying from Lanseria Airport to both East London and PE, a more convenient option for those staying in the north of Joburg. Tickets are on sale now from just 770 Rand and flights start from 1st November, just in time for the holidays. Whether it's for work or play, plan your Eastern Cape escape now from Lanseria. Fly Safair, for the love of fly. T's and C's apply.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Hi, Bongani Icon. Morning to you and the team. Auntie is tired. Auntie forgets dates. Auntie's got that evil aunt laugh. No. Auntie should take a break. Icon. There's too many holes in the story. Too many.
Good morning, Bongani and team. Jody here. Listen, there's no crisis. Auntie that Lil said there's no crisis. You must go read, Bongani. You must go read. There's no crisis. Thank you, 702 Land. Have a blessed day, all.
The difficulty is that we've got players in the tourism, no less than the Tourism Business Council, expressing their views on what they think is going on. So if players are saying within the industry there is a crisis because they talk about the several changes over a number of years of different boards, some coming in, some going, some being dissolved, the chairperson and the deputy resigning, the CEO suspended, now an interim board to appoint presumably then an acting CEO, how can there not be any crisis?
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance. Your chance to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later, 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. Today's answer comes from Brenda. Brenda, who is in Dubai. Please give us today's answer, Brenda.
Morning, Bongani. The answer is Ghostbusters 2016.
Ghostbusters 2016 is the answer. That's a really good one, Brenda. 1,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to Outsurance and 702. There you have it. Brenda says the answer is Ghostbusters 2016. If that's the answer, what's the question? Give us a call if you know on 011 8830 702.
EWN Sport.
7:45. Let's catch up with Cindy Paluta now and sports news.
Yep.
To have one of the best nights of your life
Yep.
at the tender age of 16 must be quite something, Cindy.
And on Premier League debut. You come on in the 6th minute of stoppage time for Liverpool. That's the story of 16-year-old Rion Gamoa from last night, and he scored the winning goal in their 3-2 win over Newcastle. Liverpool were 2 up through Gravenberg and Ekiteke on either side of Gordon's red card. Newcastle came back through Guimarães and Osula, and at 2-2, and Gamoa scored Liverpool's winner 10 minutes into stoppage time. Here's Newcastle manager Eddie Howe.
Yeah, very mixed feelings. I think I thought it was a great performance from us. It wasn't perfect, of course, but it was very good in the first half, very dominant, very us, really. High octane, front foot football. The only thing missing in that really strong start to the game, or middle period of the first half, was goals. Concede a poor goal, first time in the game, really, where we're not quite aggressive enough.
Back home tonight, all 5 Betway Premiership games are televised. Pirates, with 1 win in 3 games played this season, hosts Orbit College. Durban City can go top if they beat Polokwane. At the US Open, the 6th seed Madison Keys, 12th seed Svetlana, and 45-year-old Venus Williams are all out in the first round. Keys, the highest seed tumble so far, was beaten by Zarazua 6-7, 7-6, and 6-3. Keys made 89 unforced errors and 14 double faults.
I feel like today I was just, for the first time in a while, where my nerves really got the better of me, and it kind of became a little paralyzing. I felt like I was just slow. I wasn't seeing things the way that I wanted to, which I feel like resulted in a lot of bad decisions and lazy footwork. So I feel like that's kind of the summary.
On the men's side, South African Lloyd Harris through to the second round. He beat Sebastian Bayer 6-3, 7-5 and 6-4 and plays Taylor Fritz next. This morning, Carlos Alcaraz sporting a new buzz cut cruise with a straight sets win over Opelka. Springbok coach Rassie Rasmus resisted making changes to his travelling squad to take on the All Blacks. Siya Kolisi, Peter Steph du Toit, Willie Leroux and Jan-Hendrik Wessels return from injury. There's no Kurtley Arendse, Edel van der Merwe and Kobus Visser. And in Formula One, ESPN reporting Cadillac, who joins the grid from next year, will name Sergio Perez and Valtteri Bottas as their new drivers. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
The Checkers Hyper price drop is here. Save up to 40% on deals like pork value packs for only $56.99 per kilo, save 15%. Cross and Blackwell mayonnaise 750 grams, Orgo tomato sauce 700 ml, or Mrs. Ball's chutney 470 grams. Any 3 for 99 Rand, save 32 Rand. And House Brand 2-ply white toilet rolls 24-pack, 2 for 249 Rand, save 111 Rand. Deals valid until this Sunday, only at Checkers Hyper.
Mzansi, get ready to Panda Pusher Play. Play Powerball and Powerball Plus for 76 million Rand in total estimated jackpots today. That's right. Play Powerball for an estimated 31 million Rand. Powerball Plus for an estimated 45 million Rand. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529 hash for USSD. Panda Pusher Play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
Looking for the perfect place to book your next local holiday? Lekker has you covered with over 30,000 stays across South Africa. From luxury hotels, resorts and lodges to cozy self-catering homes, B&Bs and guest houses, Lekker has something for every taste and budget. Whether it's a quick getaway or an extended holiday, visit Lekker today and easily book your dream getaway on South Africa's leading accommodation app.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m. EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by the Mpumalanga Tourism Parks Agency. Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. That crash in Kempton Park, is it a bad one, Amo?
It is indeed, Bongani. It's causing about a 20-minute hold-up coming out of the OR Tambo Airport. About a 20-minute hold-up there towards Promotional Road. Please be on the lookout there. The southerly direction of this route is also affected. And if you are traveling on the N3 North, peak time delays between the Elands Interchange and Morofontein Road. There's also queuing traffic, in fact, bumper-to-bumper delays on the Mike 1 North between Empire Road and Harton Drive. This is due to an accident between these 2 points, and that's the reason for those long queues. Stay tuned for more updates.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Explore the wonders of Mpumalanga. Discover the ultimate wildlife experience, bringing you closer to nature. Endless adventure activities, breathtaking 4x4 routes, the Blind River Canyon, the third largest in the world. Make Mpumalanga your destination of choice. This message brought to you by the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. Visit mpumalanga.com for more.
Andile here with more than just a horse betting ad. Bet on the horses at 10bet and ride with a 20% free bet boost on your deposit. It's more than just a race. It's a 10bet experience. Join now at 10bet.co.za. 10bet is a licensed betting operator and supports responsible gambling. No person under the age of 18 shall be permitted to bet. Betting can be addictive. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line is 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
Life has its own rhythm, but muscle and joint pain may upset the beat.
Noflex gel.
Trust Noflex Gel's triple action formula to target muscle pain, reduce inflammation, and help numb the affected area.
Noflex gel.
So, get your beat back and reclaim the rhythm of life.
Noflex gel.
Beat the pain with Noflex Gel and higher strength Noflex Gel Fort. For more information, speak to your healthcare professional.
From the brilliant buzz of Joburg to the beautiful beaches of the Eastern Cape, Fly SASSA has you covered. That's right, from 1st November, we'll be flying from Lanseria Airport to both East London and PE, just in time for the holiday rush. Tickets are on sale now from only 770 Rand. So whether it's for work or play, plan your Eastern Cape escape from Lanseria or vice versa. Book now at flysafair.co.za. Fly SASSA, for the love of fly. T's and C's apply.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Artsurance. Please tell me what's the question. If the answer is 2016 Ghostbusters. Let's go to Orisha in Midrand. Orisha, what's the question?
Hello, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Orisha. What's the question?
The question is, which movie starred Melissa McCarthy, who happens to be turning 50 today, born in the 26th of August, 1970?
Yeah, that means she's not 50. Did you say 56 or 50? What did you say?
50.
She called me 50. She was born in 1970.
54.
No, for a moment, Orisha, I thought, I can't be the same age as Melissa McCarthy. Congratulations, mate. You've won yourself 2,000 Rand in cash. It is, of course, absolutely the birthday of Melissa McCarthy, the fantastic actress and comedian. Born on this day in 1970, and there's no way she's turning 50. I'm not the same age, KG, as Melissa McCarthy.
You are the biggest saver we've ever had.
2,794 Rand a month. It was the easiest switch ever.
What was the real deal they could offer you?
870.
That's amazing. You're always getting something out.
Yeah.
I've been battling to get nice car insurance. Outsurance, I found them. I'm saving a cool $360.
Get the real deal with the real savings.
I made the right move.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands.
Just phone Outsurance, get a quote and see what they can offer you. If you don't save that 321 like I did, I might say get a 500 or $1,000 back. Service and savings, you'll always get something out. How is it that Outsurance provided the solution for you?
918 Rand is what I'm saving.
Incredible. What brought you and Outsurance together?
718 Rand. I end up saving.
They gave you the real deal.
It literally is the real deal.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
Are you living with diabetes? Tired of painful fingerstick tests? Introducing a new continuous glucose monitoring system from Abbott Laboratories. The Freestyle Libre 2 system sends glucose readings straight to your compatible smartphone. With minute-by-minute glucose readings, optional glucose alarms, and excellent accuracy, the Freestyle Libre system is here to support you in the management of your diabetes. For more information and where to buy your Freestyle Libre 2 sensor, visit www.freestylelibre.za.com. Now available at your local pharmacy.
You could do something first and still be doing it wrong. What hurts is sprinting but never making it to the finish line. Quit going in the wrong direction because with Sani Sixt, you can rent here and globally. Other car rental companies only have a vision to try harder. We actually deliver. While they leave you feeling blue, our budget and vibe match yours. For a tailored service offering premium at every stage, book premium car rental excellence with Sani Sixt.
The Festival of Motoring, powered by Westbank, brings the spirit of Ubuntu to the Kyalami Grand Prix circuit from the 29th to the 31st of August. Experience thrilling track drives, 4x4 adventures, drifting, supercar hot laps, and F1 demos. Get your tickets on Howler. and use the promo code RADIO for a special discount. The Festival of Motoring. The power of new.
702
702. What's gone viral?
with Kabazela.
Let's catch up now with the world of viral content. Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Bella.
Let's get straight into it. Things your kids ask you that are irritating.
I mean, one of the big ones is, are you watching? Are you watching, Mom? Dad, are you watching?
Sure.
And I mean, it's a blessing at the same time because you only really have a couple of years where they're going to want you to watch. And then they will be like, I don't need you around. So this woman's sitting at the pool. It's a parody video. So she's sitting at the pool having a cocktail or whatever it is she's drinking. And the child is in the pool. Let's take a listen.
Mom, are you watching? Mom, are you watching?
I'm watching.
Okay, Mom, are you watching? Mom, did you watch?
I watched, bud.
Mom, watch me.
I'm watching. Good splash.
Did you watch?
I totally watched. Good job.
Did you watch me?
I watched you. I watched you.
Watch me.
I'm watching you.
Thank you. Watch me.
Oh, if ever a demand was made.
Yo. So I wanted to put it out there to the parents this morning. I mean, you love them, of course you do, but they can be irritating sometimes. I was irritating, I suppose, when I was a child. So what is the irritating questions? What did you say? I didn't hear you.
I said was.
I know where you live, and I know you've got small dogs. So what is the most irritating questions that you get from your kids on a daily basis? I mean, maybe it's like, are we there yet? And what's for dinner?
Oh, yes. What time is it? What time is it?
Yeah.
Especially
Let's hear
on a
those
trip.
this morning.
Especially on a trip. If you say it in that voice, Kabazela, I'll send you the pin. That's what's gone viral with Kabazela.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic brought to you by the new Opel Grandland. With smart tech and striking design, it's German engineering on a grand scale. Test drive one today at your nearest Opel dealer. Amo?
Well, Bongani, we have delays on the M1 South between Marlborough Drive and Houghton Drive. This is due to peak time delays, but in the northerly direction, an accident reported right near the Glenhove exit, and it's causing delays coming out of Empire Road. While traveling in Boksburg, bumper-to-bumper traffic on the N17 West between Carnival City and Rondebolt Road due to roadworks. More updates coming up shortly.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Great entrance? Forget that. Make a grand entrance. Grand! Be late, make everyone wait, and be grateful they did. Peeps be rubbernecking, staring gormlessly like deer in your 50,000 intelligent LED headlights. Grand! Make a grand entrance in the new Opel Grandland, designed and made in Germany. Achtung, baby. Grand! It's even got massage seats. Grand. Visit opel.co.za for more.
702
702.
Feedback
With Rupfiwa Kone.
I have to ask you that Kabazela question.
Yes, of course.
Mommy, are you watching?
I do.
Are you watching, Mommy?
Every single
Mommy,
weekend.
I said watch me.
Yes, I am watching, my boy. You're doing so well. I love those flips. Be careful. That type of parent.
Yeah, you get a lot of them, I imagine.
Yes, all the time.
At this age.
All the time, Bongani. All the time. Since they were young, yeah.
I had to teach my son how to tell the time because we were traveling to Durban, and he kept asking, "Is it 2 hours yet? Is it an hour yet? Is it nah?" You figure it out. That's how you deal with that one.
Yeah.
Friendly tip from me.
You must be patient as a parent, Bongani.
What are people saying about Auntie Pat?
Bongani, people are saying that Auntie Pat is not being so forthcoming and honest in that interview, telling you that you must read, Bongani. When you don't read enough, Bongani. You don't know what it is that you are talking about. But we do have another interview coming up with Chibengwa, who will give us his side. He was also listening to the interview right
This
there.
is the CEO of the Tourism Business Council of South Africa.
Absolutely,
I'll be
Bongani.
keen to hear what he has to say because some of what he has mentioned already on the public record are some of the points I put to Minister de Lille, who said, you're just repeating everybody's hysteria. So let's find out more about that. Coming up, it's 8 o'clock.
This is EWN.
A medical scheme body takes legal action over NHI, and Australia has expelled Iranian ambassadors after spy agency found Iran directed anti-Semitic attacks on its soil. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The Board of Healthcare Funders says Parliament evaded its constitutional obligations when it passed the National Health Insurance Bill in 2023 so that the ANC could use it as an electioneering platform. In a new legal challenge against the legislation, which has not yet come into effect, the medical scheme body is now challenging Parliament's public participation process. The healthcare funder says Parliament adopted the bill blindly without crucial information such as the services that will be offered under the acts and the costs involved. Lindsay Dentlinger has more.
After being introduced to Parliament in 2019, the National Health Insurance Bill was passed by the National Council of Provinces in December 2023 and signed into law by the President in May last year, just days before the national elections. In papers filed with the Constitutional Court, the BHF says the timing of the bill's passing leads it to believe there was an ulterior purpose to getting it over the line. It says the overwhelming inference is that the ANC majority at the time ignored the bill's shortcomings and failed to consider public concerns because it wanted to use it for electioneering. For these reasons, the BHF argues by passing the bill, Parliament's actions were irrational, grossly unreasonable and unconstitutional. The fund says it's not against healthcare reform and universal access, but it's acting in the interest of a transparent, lawful and effective health system and a legislative passage that has followed due process. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News.
A legal battle between senior cops Shadrack Sibia and Fanny Masemola is set to play out in the Pretoria High Court this morning. General Sibia, who is Deputy Commissioner for Crime Detection, approached the court to challenge his suspension by the National Commissioner after KZN top cop Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi implicated him in explosive allegations last month. Mkhwanazi claimed Sibia interfered in the work of the KZN Political Killings Task Team, which was investigating a drug syndicate in Gauteng, an allegation that Sibia has denied. Khomozo Madise has more.
KZN top cop General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi accused General Shadrack Sibia of meddling in the work of the Political Killings Task Team by issuing letters to disband it, halting crime intelligence appointments, and withdrawing case dockets. These are the allegations that prompted his suspension by National Police Commissioner Fanny Masemola. Initially, Sibia was happy to stay home pending the outcome of the Commissioner of Inquiry into Mkhwanazi's allegations. But he's now made a U-turn, claiming the National Commissioner does not have the power to suspend him and that the decision was taken for ulterior purposes and in bad faith. Now, just days before the Police Commissioner of Inquiry, the top cops are set to battle it out today in the Pretoria High Court, where the application is set to be heard. Khomozo Modise, Eyewitness News.
The friends of a 20-year-old woman who was stabbed to death allegedly by her ex-boyfriend say she was in an abusive relationship with her alleged attacker. Lazarus Antonio was arrested last Friday after being identified as a prime suspect in the murder of Gaugelo Marota in the Northwest. It's alleged he killed her last Thursday, then released footage of the scene on his social media accounts. He later stabbed his current girlfriend, who survived the attack and had to be hospitalized. Antonio appeared in the Temba Magistrates Court yesterday on charges of murder and attempted murder. Matora's friend Katleho Mahwe says Gaugelo had a protection order against Antonio because of a history of violence in their relationship.
Until I don't know Initially he showed her love until a certain point, and he changed and he became abusive towards her, and she would come to me telling me that he carries weapons and that he would force her to do things that she didn't want to do.
And Australia's government has decided to expel Iran's ambassador, accusing the country of being behind anti-Semitic attacks in Melbourne and Sydney. Australia has given the Iranian ambassador and 3 other officials 7 days to leave the country, the first such expulsion of an ambassador since World War II. They say Tehran was behind a fire attack on a kosher cafe in 2024 and directed an arson attack on a synagogue in December last year. No physical injuries were reported in those attacks. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese made the announcements at a news conference this morning.
These were extraordinary and dangerous acts of aggression orchestrated by a foreign nation on Australian soil. They were attempts to undermine social cohesion and sow discord in our community.
Gold is trading at $3,376.17 an ounce. The rand is at 17.59 to the dollar, 23.69 to the pound, 20.48 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $68.50 a barrel.
And in the traffic in Kempton Park, we've got heavy delays on the R21 North between the Orotambo interchange and Promotional Road due to a major accident scene. While traveling on the Mark 1 South, there's queuing traffic between the Baklu interchange and Houghton Drive.
And in your sport, 5 games in the Betway Premiership tonight, including Pirates hosting Orbit, and Durban City can go top if they beat Polokwane. 16-year-old Rio Ngomoa scores in stoppage time as Liverpool beat a 10-man Newcastle 3-2. Former Proteas captain Danae van Niekerk hoping to make her international return. And at the US Open, South African Lloyd Harris through to the second round, while the women's 6th seed Madison Keys is out.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 28 and 29 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. The Board of Healthcare Funders says Parliament evaded its constitutional obligations when it passed the National Health Insurance Bill in 2023 so that the ANC could use it as an electioneering platform.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Gauteng's greatest awards at 702 and Yoko. Let's celebrate excellence, one vote at a time. Go to primediaplus.com now to vote for the finalist that makes Gauteng feel like home.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Gosh, quite a lot being challenged in terms of the decisions that are being made around the future of the country. The Board of Healthcare Funders now taking issue with Parliament in terms of the passing of the National Health Insurance Bill in 2023. And they're saying this was nothing more than an election ploy by the ANC. So yet another legal challenge against the legislation, which, to be clear, has not yet come into effect. Earlier, I spoke to the Tourism Minister, Patricia de Lille, who says there is no crisis in tourism. As the country gears, of course, for the hotter months of the year, we expect more tourists in the country. SA Tourism at this stage doesn't have, well, I mean, they kind of do, but they don't. Their CEO is suspended. The board has been dissolved. So we're now going to have an acting board appointing an acting CEO to investigate charges and questions around the suspended CEO. The minister says everybody's screaming, but she's got the facts and there's nothing to see here, no crisis. She was simply exercising her fiduciary duties. What's your take?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
9 minutes after 8 o'clock, let's speak to Shiphiwa Shibengwa, who is the Tourism Business Council of South Africa CEO, and no doubt would have had some interest in the conversation I had with the minister. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me, and good morning to your listeners.
So the minister says, look, there's no crisis here. She's instructed me to go and read because there's things clearly I do not know. I've echoed some of what has been on the public record, in the public domain, in terms of the criticisms leveled against her. What was your response?
Well, we did meet with both the minister and the now dissolved board, and we made an assessment and we issued a statement to say that we don't believe that what the minister has done is aligned with what we believe should have been done. In other words, the board should not have been dissolved, because what the board did is not something that requires that particular sanction to the board. So that's what we said in our statement, and we still stand by that statement. We don't believe that the board, after hearing both sides, that it acted irrationally when it convened the so-called meeting that the board says they never convened, but we believe that they were exercising their fiduciary responsibility. We had everyone. We had the minister, we had the board, we made an assessment, and we issued a statement to that effect. And we still stand by the statement that the board should not have been dissolved. And is there a crisis? There is a crisis at South African tourism, not at the industry level. We will continue to do our work. We'll execute where we need to execute. Yes, of course, it's going to be difficult because we have a South African tourism that is now dysfunctional. It doesn't have direction. And there are many platforms that South African tourism is supposed to support overseas in the international markets that are not happening at the moment. So that's what the industry is concerned about.
I would imagine, but the minister says, hang on, let's not overreact here. She's appointing an interim board, and they will appoint an acting CEO, and together those investigations will then take place around the questions facing the suspended CEO. She's also saying that and the other thing we need clarity on, we can't have a meeting that didn't take place, that took place. I mean, either it did or it didn't. Former board members are saying it didn't. She says it did.
Well, absolutely. Those are the issues that needs to be clarified because, those that were supposed to have that meeting or supposed to have been in that meeting are saying the meeting never took place. So
when was
one
the
has to make an
CEO
assessment.
suspended then? I mean, how could she be suspended without a meeting taking place?
So that is something, the issue around the CEO suspension and the reason that's attached to it is something that we don't necessarily get involved in. What we get involved in is that we've been here before, Bongani. We've had the board that have been dissolved. We've got the chairperson and the deputy chairperson of the same board leaving the board, raising concerns. We've had another board before of 3 people that was an interim board. So this is the second interim board. And we've had 2 other boards, and now we're going to have another one. So to say that there is no crisis at South African tourism will not be an accurate reflection on the issue. There is a crisis. It's been there for quite a number of years. It needs to be resolved for the sake of continuity, for the sake of sustainability of the industry. We as a sector, we are now forced to think alternatively in terms of how we're going to compete, in the markets, across the world, because South African tourism is non-responsive, in those issues. So without a CEO, without a board, and this ever-changing and the dissolution of the boards, chairperson, deputy chairperson resigning, 3 board person, and so forth and so on, doesn't serve the interests of the industry. We need South African tourism that is stable. At the moment, it's not stable.
One of the issues that I raised with the minister was the allegation or the suggestion that the suspended CEO, Guliwe, was not even necessarily the preferred candidate for the position. In fact, there's a report that has supposedly emerged from the previous board that suggested she was in fact unsuitable for the job. The minister insists it was this board that gave her that name and only that name, and that's what she took to cabinet. Can you comment on that?
Well, we're not privy to those discussions in terms of the interviews and who got shortlisted and who was put in front of the cabinet. What we do hope is that the board that does interviews, they interview candidates and they shortlist people who have the capacity and the capabilities to move the organization forward.
Does it make sense?
That's what our interests are.
Does it make sense that only one candidate would have been put forward?
Well, what we know is that usually there are 3 candidates that are put forward. So that's something that the board would have to answer, or the previous board will have to answer, and be able to say, why there was 1 name or not 3 names or whatever it may be. But those are the issues that, if I remember correctly, there was some sort of a meeting at Portfolio Committee that discussed that issue. One has to go back and dig and find those minutes. But it is the duty of the board. It's not the duty of the industry. What we are interested in as an industry is that there are people that will go and apply for the job. If they are suitably qualified, they can be interviewed. If they are the top candidate, they have to be presented and they can do the job. We will work with them. What we want is sustainability. We want to do the programs. We want to make sure that in whatever we do, we're advancing the industry forward. We are less interested in the issue of who gets the job or who doesn't get the job. But as long as it's a qualified person, listens to the industry, work with us, we're able to work with them. At the moment, the fact that there is no CEO, there's been this back and forth, acting CEO, no CEO, for the past 4 years, Bongani. 4 years of up and down. We need stability. so that we can do programs that brings more tourists, create more jobs, impact the economy.
Well, those are the points I try to put to the minister. Maybe we should both go and read, hey? Shibengwa, the Tourism Business Council of South Africa CEO.
EWN Traffic.
Up next, we're going to talk about the secrets of longevity coming all the way from Venda. But in the meantime, Amo, why the delays on the N1 North?
Bongani, due to an accident right near Malibongwe Drive, delays coming out of Beyers-Naudé Drive. As a result, I'm seeing delays along Beyers-Naudé Drive as well as Malibongwe towards the N1. Please be on the lookout there. There's also queuing traffic on the Mike 1 South between the Baklu Interchange and Hudson Drive while traveling in Kempton Park. That accident is still there along the R21 North. It's causing heavy delays between Atlas Road and Pomona Road. And there's also queuing traffic on the N1 South between the Brakfontein Interchange and Olifantsfontein Road. This is if you're heading towards Midrand. I'll have more updates. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Zanzi, get ready to panda push-up play Powerball and Powerball Plus for 76 million rand in total estimated jackpots this Tuesday. That's right, play Powerball for an estimated 31 million rand, Powerball Plus for an estimated 45 million today. Buy your tickets now in-store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529 hash for USSD. Panda push-up play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
The team's on a roll today. Let me focus on payroll. Duty calls in the kitchen. That's why I have a business insurer that is agile and on the ball all the time on all things. I chose My Way Business Insurance, getting 24/7 emergency service and saving on my premiums, plus my business assist to handle my admin.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
Spring is sprung. The grass is res. It's now time to get stuck into your garden. So get to Chamberlain Gardening Centre's fast spring promotion from 4 August to 12 October. Get ceiling trays at R29.90 or Calterra compost at R24.90. And don't miss a chance to win your share of 90,000 Rand in gift vouchers every Saturday during the promotion. Chamberlain, famous for hardware and gardening since 1903.
Payment solutions should run with your business wherever and whenever it happens. With PayFast by Network, you can accept payments online, in-store, or on the move with one simple, secure system. And when business picks up, our Easy Advance funding gives you flexibility to move even faster. Always open, for every hour, for every order, for you. Sign up today at payfast.io. PayFast has partnered with TymeBank to offer funding to your business.
South Africa's new two-pot retirement system is revealing just how much pressure working people are under. So this Thursday on 702 Breakfast, Old Mutual Corporate will unpack this headline topic from the Old Mutual Thought Leaders Forum and explore key behavioral lessons that emerge. We'll look at ways in which employers can step up with smarter support, better benefits, and play a vital role in building long-term financial resilience. Join the conversation Thursday, 28 August, brought to you by Old Mutual Corporate on 702.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Close your eyes and for a moment, picture this. In the far northeastern reaches of South Africa, in the lush hills of Venda, a grandmother hymns an old hymn on her stoop. She's 101 years old. Her great-granddaughter, just 12, rushing home from school to sit behind her, 89 years of life between them. And the remarkable thing is, in that part of the country, it's not unusual. The Venda district in Limpopo has more centenarians than anywhere else in the country. In fact, census data suggests this community is producing people who live past 100 at rates that may rival Japan's famous blue zones in terms of extraordinary longevity. What's their secret? Is it the food, their faith, or the fields? We're joined now by the traditional leader of the Matsila people, Chief Libuwani Matsila, on the phone. Nda Dima Cheroni Abuti Chief.
Machironi to you, Bongani, and the listeners.
Thank you so much for your time this morning. You have found the secret to the fountain of youth, of living forever.
Yes. It's not even a question of finding it. It's a question of living the experience in this part of South Africa. As you were saying, we experience higher forms of longevity than anywhere else in the country, and even in the world, we are ranked as one of the highest in terms of longevity. So I think it's a blessing.
What's the secret to it? Because many of us would like the thought of living longer, but we worry about our health, we worry about becoming frail, we worry about being sick, we worry about mental challenges, none of which seem to apply to your many centenarians.
Yes, no, and I think the secret is a combination of factors. There is not one single factor we can attribute this advantage on. You need to look at the lifestyle of people here dating centuries back as to how do they live in the land. And you realize that as I grow up, I noticed that we used to eat quite healthy foods. We used to eat indigenous vegetables which are rich in protein. And the diet in the main would contain less meat and more vegetables and fruits. And we didn't know that was part of the lifestyle, but we thought maybe we didn't have enough cattle. But we used to have quite a number of cattle that we had in the veld. But we would only eat meat on special occasions. So it would seem that even the animals or the cattle or livestock that is here was now grazing organic grass, indigenous grass. There was less use of chemicals on cattle. You see cattle nowadays, they get a lot of injections. In those days, there were no injections. Even now, we use less medication on livestock in this part of the cattle because of the world. Because the problem that we have with too much medication on livestock is that increases the chemical composition of the meat, which is unhealthy to people. So the other lifestyle is that people in this part of the world also are very keen on working on the land and physically working on the land. So there's a lot of plowing that happens, a lot of physical activity in the area, and also cultural programs that keep people fit as they train on different forms of traditional dancing.
I also have to ask,
traditional, yes.
If you may, I also have to ask you this. One of the challenges, I suppose, of urbanization is, despite the millions of people around us, we're often isolated in the big cities. We're often dislocated in terms of our families, maybe even our histories. I'd imagine in rural life that's not a problem. That sense of community and solidarity must also contribute to the well-being of people.
Yes, the emotional and spiritual well-being of people here is much more nurtured than in the cities or in urban areas. And you're right, the social security system here is much more well developed and very, very supportive. So if people have got problems, for instance, you have got neighbors that you can share your challenges with, you've got the whole community that you can share challenges with, you've got groups of women, groups of youth, groups of elders that are supportive, so that there's a big role.
So, Chief, can I get a plot of land? Can I move there next week?
No. You'll have to come to the real house.
You don't want outsiders like me, eh? Full of my Joburg nonsense. Listen, we just thought it's an extraordinary story to tell, and congratulations. And I think there's lots of lessons to be learned in how you and your people live there. That's Chief Bongani Matsila from the Vembe district, and of course he is the chief of the Matsila people in that village in Limpopo.
702, The World View
with Adam Gilchrist.
From Venda to elsewhere in the world, Vicky Turner in for Adam Gilchrist. Vicky, always a pleasure to chat to you. Let's start with the US now claiming anti-Semitism against France.
Surprise, it's not Vicky Turner, it's me. I could have done my Vicky impression, but it's not a good one.
Oh, dang.
France summoning the US ambassador in Paris, Charles Kushner, who happens to be Jewish and who is the son of Ivanka Trump, daughter of the American president. So he is the heir of the American president. The fact that he's Jewish also plays a part here, because he absolutely says France isn't doing enough to curb anti-Semitism. It's anti-Semitism that has grown since the issues in Gaza, since the Israeli military operation started. And this also ties in with the fact that Benjamin Netanyahu has been very unhappy with France's comments about the military offensive in Gaza, and that France is about to recognize Palestine as an independent state. So all of this is basically, and to some extent, Charles Kushner is also tapping into the fact he's right. There has been a rise in anti-Semitic incidents as reported in France, but in a lot of countries around the world, because people get Israel and Judaism confused. So you can be absolutely against the policies of Benjamin Netanyahu and very much against the military offensive going on in Gaza, but that doesn't make you anti-Semitic. At the same time, people also do carry out anti-Semitic incidents thinking they're just being anti-Israel. So it's a slightly complicated situation. But you know what, Mr. Kushner, perhaps have a look at your own country. Anti-Semitism has grown in the United States as well as all the way across Europe. It's a worrying trend, and perhaps we all need to look at our own homesteads before we look beyond.
And Adam, tell me about the book Prince Andrew probably doesn't want you to read.
I wonder if he will. Will he get a first edition copy out in 6 weeks, we're told. Now, the publication date hasn't been formally identified, but the journalist who worked with Virginia Giuffre on her memoir, Nobody's Girl, says it will come out in early October, so 6 weeks-ish. Virginia Giuffre, of course, is the one who blew the whistle on Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, and who is also pictured with Prince Andrew in that famous photo, who claims that she was trafficked, who did reach an out-of-court settlement with Prince Andrew. But Virginia Giuffre is now gone. She committed suicide earlier this year. Jeffrey Epstein, around whom all this evolves, he committed suicide 6 years ago. So what will be in the memoir? What names will be named? I can't imagine that Prince Andrew could be any more persona non grata, but you wonder, maybe this will just absolutely drive it home, out of court settlement or not. There's some mud to sling, isn't there? And as I say, I don't think he'll be the only nervous person around.
And Adam, how expensive could a doorstop be?
Well, quite. In the case of this doorstop in Romania, used by a woman to keep her door open or closed for quite some time, decades, according to the nephew who inherited it. He then inherited this 30-odd years ago and eventually thought, do you know what? There's something about this doorstop. 3.5 kilos, lots of red and brown hues. It turns out to be one of the world's largest slabs of amber, worth immediately about $1 million or more, worth rather more in scientific and historical interest. It dates back 40 to 80 million years. So he's had it sized up by a museum in Krakow in Poland. Now it's in a museum in Buzău in Romania, where it has been bought by them for close to the asking price. And you think it's an extraordinary thing. Inside it, there could well be all sorts of remnants of spiders and flies and also crustaceans, etc., etc. But also, I like to think that even though it's an extremely expensive, gorgeous-looking piece of rock, maybe ultimately it'll keep the museum door open as well, just, to keep up the tradition.
Stop it, Adam. Stop it. That's this morning's Worldview with Adam Gilchrist, not Vicky Turner.
EWN Business.
Business news now. Mutero, Nissan Motors shares dropping. Mercedes-Benz drops in. This, of course, as Mercedes-Benz drops its stake in the Japanese automaker.
Yeah, Nissan shares tumbled 6% this morning after its second biggest shareholder, Mercedes-Benz, offloaded its entire 3.8% stake in the embattled Japanese automaker. The two companies had tied up in 2010 as car makers forged alliances following the 2008 financial crisis. This was in a bid to lower development and production costs at the time. Mercedes-Benz has been restructuring and cutting costs, letting go of 20,000 jobs over the past year and selling some of its factories and property. The German car maker's pension trust will divest its stake worth around $346 million in Nissan Motor. The German automaker sees the move as a portfolio cleanup. Mercedes-Benz is Nissan's second largest shareholder after Renault, which holds around 35.7%.
See, I do read. Whether I get what I read or not is something else. SASSA swinging back into profit.
Yeah, the energy company saying its performance has rebounded over the last year with earnings improving. SASSA says it expects an $80 million hit or 1.4 billion rand from the 30% tariffs imposed by the US and plans to mitigate some of those losses. The energy firm says despite lower turnover, it was able to record some higher profits. Headline earnings per share rose to 35 Rand 13 cents. This was up from the 18 Rand 19 cents reported last year. They still have the environmental problems though. SASSA has committed to purchasing 723 million rand worth of carbon credits. Carbon credits are permits which allow a country or organization to produce a certain amount of carbon emissions. SASSA, one of the largest emitters of carbon in South Africa.
Where's the rand? What is it emitting?
17 Rand 59 cents, emitting positive vibes against the US dollar, 20 Rand 46 cents against the euro, and 23 Rand 67 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $3,376 an ounce, while platinum is at $1,327. Brent crude keeping low at $68.51 a barrel. That's your morning business. Stephen Grootes will handle business later this afternoon.
Straight to the news desk we go. Sfiso Zulu, what you got at this hour? Good morning.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. We start with news just in. The Mbuyiseli Madlanga Commission of Inquiry into Criminal Political Interference and Corruption will no longer commence on the 1st next month. President Cyril Ramaphosa appointed the commission to investigate the serious allegations, largely within the SAPS, brought to the spotlight by KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi last month. The Justice and Constitutional Development Department was in the process of procuring the Commission's infrastructure requirements that were necessary for the Commission to commence its hearings. But in a statement this morning, the Commission says those commitments have not yet been fulfilled and it will not be able to start the hearings as scheduled. Deadly taxi violence continues unabated in Cape Town with another attack this morning in Makassar. The recent escalation of violence between Kata and Kodeta resulted in the death of 2 people in a taxi rank in Philippi East yesterday. 4 others were critically injured and the victims included passengers. A taxi driver was killed while 3 other people sustained injuries at a taxi rank in Khayelitsha on the same day. Western Cape Mobility MEC Isaac Sileku says the attacks are deeply disturbing.
This violence is an attack on innocent commuters, and those who choose conflict over peace will face the full force of the law. I am exploring additional measures within the regulatory framework to strengthen stability in the taxi industry and ensure accountability from operators and associations.
The City of Tshwane says it's considering its options after failing to overturn a court judgment which declared its cleansing levy unlawful. Yesterday, the High Court in Pretoria dismissed the Metro's applications leave to appeal its earlier decision striking down the levy. The 194 Rand monthly charge was targeted at businesses and residential properties that use private waste collection. City of Tshwane spokesperson Selby Bukaba says they'll consider their next options.
The city will seek the advice of senior legal counsel on the implications of the judgment and to determine the way forward. Tshwane has 1 month within which to appeal today's judgment.
And Australia's government has decided to expel Iran's ambassador accusing the country of being behind anti-Semitic attacks in Melbourne and Sydney. Australia has given the Iranian ambassador and 3 other officials 7 days to leave the country, the first such expulsion of an ambassador since World War II. They say Tehran was behind a fire attack on a Korshak cafe in 2024 and directed an arson attack on a synagogue in December last year. No physical injuries were reported in both attacks. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese made the announcements at a news conference this morning.
These were extraordinary and dangerous acts of aggression orchestrated by a foreign nation on Australian soil. They were attempts to undermine social cohesion and sow discord in our community.
A fine day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of 5 and 11 degrees, peaking at highs between 28 and 29.
And in the traffic, we've got delays in Kempton Park along the R21 north between the OR Tambo interchange and Atlas Road due to a major accident scene. And if you're traveling in the city of Tshwane, delays on the N1 south just as you approach the Flying Saucer interchange.
The top story this hour, the Mbuyiseli Madlanga Commission of Inquiry will not commence on the 1st of next month.
Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko. Your vote is not just a click. It's a thank you, a nod, a way of saying we see you. Vote for your favorite local business now on primemediaplus.com.
At the heart of global conversations shaping the future, Africa's voice matters more than ever. As Africa's largest bank by assets and lead sponsor of the B20 Summit, Standard Bank Group is proud to spotlight the continent's growth, partnerships and potential on the world stage. Through informed dialogue and powerful partnerships, Standard Bank is driving sustainable growth where it matters most. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Spar brings you super savings. Get 1 liter 6-pack Spar Long Life full cream, low fat or fat-free milk, excluding lactose-free, for $89.99 with Spar Rewards, or 900-gram original Bacoma Wheat Bix for $49.99. Save 15 Rand with Spar Rewards. Plus, you could win your share of 6 million Rand in instant cash. Prices valid until 7 September 2025 while stocks last. T's and C's apply.
Imagine if you could save time like you save money. A second here, a minute there. Type a little faster, walk a little faster. Or you could stop scrolling on the internet. Just think of all the hours you'll save. Now what if you could take all that time and invest it? Watch it grow. Until eventually, one day, you'd have so much time that you wouldn't know what to do with it all. But unfortunately, time doesn't work like that. It can't be stored or banked. And unlike money, you can't make it back. That's why after 50 years of investing, we've learned that time is the greatest gift of all. And the good news is, if you invest early, time gives you money. And then money gives you more time to do whatever you want to do, even if it is scrolling on the internet. Ellen Gray, long-term investing. Ellen Gray is an authorized FSP.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
This is Charlene speaking. I'd just like to tell you about an aunt of mine who has just turned 100 years old. She lives in Umhlonga Rocks, and the whole family were down there to celebrate it with her. She's outlived her husband, her son, and basically half the family, and she even got a letter from the King and Queen in England, because that's where she was born. Thank you. Bye.
Good morning, Bongani. This is Azwi from Kailami. Azwi, obviously, vendor. This past weekend, our grandmother was turning 101 years old. Unfortunately, on Friday, she fell a bit ill, and we quickly rushed her to the hospital. Yesterday, a day before yesterday on Sunday, she was up and running. She was talking as if nothing has ever happened. And I think the reality is the lifestyle is the one that really matters the most in our vendor culture. Whenever I speak to people about what we eat, they will tell you that you guys eat more moroho than meat. We eat selinyama tina. And I can tell you that it's also in the lifestyle that people live by in Venda. It's what we eat. We eat a lot of indigenous and a whole lot of stuff from the ground. And I think that really matters a lot in our health. And that's all from me, Bongani, Azwi from Kailami.
Good morning, Bongani. I'm listening to your interview with the chief there from Vembe village. You know, I need to attest. I'm married to, my wife is of Venda descent, and her grandfather is now 104 years. And he's still strong. He still walks without a stick, although the eyesight is a little bit bad. But that entire family, or that entire generation of that family, they live in mostly they live average age of about 90, which is extraordinary. And I always joke with my wife, I said, I think you are going to outlive me. But yeah, you know, good food and respect and everything, I think that's what sustained these people. Thanks for a good show. MK here.
Thank you, MK. How was my Venda greeting to the chief? Hey, Amo. Dimacheroni abuti. Chief. Nda. Oh, I added the nda bit as well.
You started with the nda.
Yes,
and
nda.
Dimacheroni
Dimacheroni abuti, chief. I thought I did well.
You did. I'll give you 5 out of 10.
For a Xhosa boy from Mthatha. Yeah, no, I thought I did well. As I said earlier, give me the health, no frailty, reasonable mental state of mind, and hopefully some level of independence, including financially. Muteo says, of course, that means I don't want to get old. But I still think, and I'm no spring chicken at 50, almost 51, but I'm no senior citizen either, not really, not yet. And I just think living with the memories of people gone, songs nobody remembers, places, people say, what? That used to be that? That used to be where? Technology that's no longer used. I think those are the things that emotionally I would struggle, particularly if you get to a point where everyone else is gone, right? And you make references to Amoramila, and nobody knows who you're talking about, hey? to Cindy Peluta. Like, who's Cindy? Who is Cindy Peluta? Yeah. Then they Google, like, oh, that Auntie Shay, man. What happened to her?
EWN Sport.
Imagine Cindy is like, please, of the three of us, you're a man, you're going first, buddy. Wow. That's usually how it works. Women tend to outlive us, right?
I hope so.
Women tend to outlive men.
Is it?
Yeah, there's a whole biological reason around that.
I heard married men live longer.
So one of the things, I've heard this professor make this argument that I think it's humans, the elephants, and one of the whales. But we are the only 3 species where the females survive long after menopause. And the simple evolutionary explanation is that women are the ones who pass on the knowledge that have been gathered by previous generations, because the women are the ones who teach how to nurture, you teach young mothers, etc., etc. But that there's a biological reason. Men can reproduce well into old age, women can't, and yet we are the ones who die first.
And you
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, and you touched on a very valid some insight there about passing on knowledge. We always assume that passing on knowledge is talking and telling somebody this is how you do this and this is how you do that, and that's how we pass on knowledge. But it's beautiful. Science is beautiful, and your body remembers stuff, and your muscles remember stuff. And the woman passes that on to the child within the womb. And what you've gathered within your muscles and what you haven't let go within all of that passes on. Just to add on to what you're saying. That's how the knowledge is passed on.
Yeah, because we all think we're here to just reproduce. Well, men can do it until practically they're ready to go, right? Think of one former president. But it's the women who, long after they're able to do that, are still around.
I think we just want to enjoy our single life for a while.
Listen, there is that
but
too.
I want to hang around for a while. Stress-free. I just want to have toasted cheese and a tea for supper.
Let's talk about the Betway Premiership. Some games tonight.
Yeah, because there's 5 games. All are televised. Orlando Pirates at home against Orbit College. Now, I've been out the loop for a while because I was on leave for 2 weeks. And I see that Orlando Pirates have played 3 games and only won 1. And remember at the start of the season, I said to you, whoever wants to win it this season has to get off the blocks.
Look at how well Kaizer Chiefs are doing, hey?
Well, now you've jinxed it. Durban City will go top if they beat Polokwane Stellenbosch against Gallant.
Nice.
No, you're not. Richards Bay are hosting Chipper. All the Kaizer Chiefs play. And I'm like, Now they play Sundowns tomorrow, and they're very hopeful.
As they should.
It's cute.
Sundowns haven't had the best start. They really haven't.
Yeah.
I was really genuinely being nice.
Okay. In the Premier League last night, Liverpool beat Newcastle 3-2. Liverpool had a 2-goal lead and Newcastle were down to 10 men when they fought back to level the match. But it was 16-year-old Rio Ngomoa who came off the bench and on league debut scored the winner 10 minutes in stoppage time. Here's Ngomoa.
It was crazy. Like he just looked at me, pointed at me, like you just quickly get on, like get ready. And, you just have to come on, make an impact. And luckily, and thank God that I did that. So yeah, it was just a proud moment.
Former Proteas captain Van Niekerk has come out of retirement ahead of next month's Women's Cricket World Cup in India. Van Niekerk retired in 2023 due to fitness issues and is now in camp with the national team where she's hoping to earn her spot in the World Cup squad.
It's been 2 years, and out of the game, I just realized how much I miss it. Seeing the success of the team, besides anything, it makes you proud and you want to be part of that. That's kind of the main reason. And recently I went through something quite traumatic in my family. My dad passed away, and it's almost like something like that gave me the new why, and it's a very strong why for me. And
at the US Open tennis, the big upset, the 6th seed and Australian Open winner Madison Keys was knocked out of the first round. She's out along with Svitolina and Venus Williams. Going through went Rybakina and Andreeva. South African Lloyd Harris through to the second round. He'll play Taylor Fritz. Carlos Alcaraz cruised to the second round as well. Today in action, Sinner, Zverev, Goff and Swiatek. And in Formula One, ESPN reporting that Cadillac, who joins the grid from next year, will name Sergio Perez and Valtteri Bottas as their drivers. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays,
12 to 1.
What are your concerns around the anti-gang unit?
The specialized unit in South Africa that does the most dangerous work. They also ran a report on some similar shortages in other specialized units elsewhere in the country. But really, it's hard to think of a unit doing more dangerous work than the anti-gang unit in Cape Town. And there they are, going into a gunfight without any weapons. That is outrageous. And so that's what prompted it.
Mayor of Cape Town, Jordan Hill-Lewis.
The Midday Report
with Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
Did you know that the CSIR International Convention Center has over 40 years experience in hosting international, local and national business events? Located on a tranquil campus east of Pretoria within the Knowledge Hub and Science Diplomacy capital, the city of Tshwane. It's a fit-for-purpose convention center, ideal for your association, congress, or any other business event. For more information, visit CSIRICC.co.za. So that's CSIRICC.co.za. The CSIR International Convention Center, where smart minds meet.
Meet Uminatsi Nyaba, a powerhouse storyteller and actor graduate who earned her Bachelor of Arts in Motion Picture cum laude. From a young age, Uminatsi knew that storytelling was her calling, but financial hurdles nearly dimmed her dream. That all changed when she received the Hollywood Foundation's Future is Bright bursary. It lifted a huge weight off her shoulders and gave her the freedom to focus fully on her craft. She began making bold moves and creating incredible work, including her award-winning short film, which was selected for international screenings. Thanks to the Hollywood Foundation, Uminati is ready to tell the stories the world needs to hear. Follow the Hollywood Foundation social pages for more stories of stars on the rise. Sizofunda sonke.
When I say insurance, you say pineapple. Insurance.
Pineapple.
Insurance.
Pineapple.
Insurance.
Pineapple.
Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
EWN Traffic.
All right, let's catch up with the morning's traffic. Wrapping it up, 11 to 9, Amo.
Well, Bongani, if you're traveling on the N1 South, this is between the Brockfontein Interchange and Olifantsfontein Road. We do have delays there, and that's due to peak time pressure. While traveling on the R21 North in the Kempton Park area, delays between the OR Tambo Interchange and Atlas Road, an accident reported there. There's also bumper-to-bumper traffic along the N12 R24 West between Edenville Road and the Kirulis Interchange. I'm afraid we've got heavier traffic volumes on the N1 North in the Randburg area. This is between Bears and Malibongwe due to a major accident, so please be on the lookout there and try to be patient. More updates at the top of the hour.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and really all citizens to walk the talk for a better country. Catch it this Wednesday at 10 to 9 featuring Akweli. We'll be speaking to their marketing manager, Sharon Combrink. We do this every Wednesday to highlight efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. 7:02, let's walk the talk and together make a difference.
Do you know what's hiding behind the colorful packaging of unhealthy food? Big food companies target children with unhealthy packaged foods that hide high levels of sugar, salt, and fat, which could lead to heart disease, diabetes, and hypertension. But the truth is hidden from consumers. Front of package warning labels are a proven solution to help consumers make informed decisions. The government must act now. We have the right to know what's in our food. Demand front of package warning labels. Sign the petition on heala.org, HEALA.org, by the 30th of September.
Naked people are popular at Bry's. They're top of the guest list every time and always rock up with the primo cuts. That's because naked people save cash every month with online car and home insurance, which means less money spent on insurance premiums and more money for lamb chops the size of your face. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and get naked. People, Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
Right, time now to talk about what's next between 9 and 12. Is it the Jane Manyatela Show or the Clement Dutton Show? No. Hello,
It's that
Clement.
one. It's that one.
No, Sham. I mean, listen, OBs, outside broadcasts,
Right.
can be a nightmare.
Yeah.
I fully sympathize with your connection issues. Frustrating, but we still got a
But
show,
we
right?
recovered. We
got a
recovered.
good show.
Yeah, we got a good show.
What's on the menu today?
So today on the show, I want to ask just our listeners how hopeful they feel right now about the country. Because sometimes it seems like it's burning everywhere, but it's not. And I want to know how hopeful are you about the country? And because it's not all doom and gloom, I want other people to also tell us what gives you hope. What do you love about this country that reminds you, okay, it's not all bad? Because when you look at the news, sometimes it's just so overwhelming. And I think I'm a little overwhelmed this morning. So that's the question I'll be asking our listeners. But before we wrap up the open line, I'm going to bring in the Public Service Commissioner, Professor Somatota Fikeni, the Minister of Higher Education. Imagine Prime Media hiring Bongani Bingwa. And then after hiring Bongani Bingwa, there are allegations raised now about what Bongani has done in the past. And then Prime Media hires someone to say, oh, please do a background check on Bongani Bingwa. How did you hire Bongani Bingwa without a vetting?
No, this is before. This is all following someone else hiring Clement Manyatela, against whom there were allegations. And then the person lying about how they appointed Clement. And part of the problem is that we almost never got to the appointments that the former Minister Nkabane had made, because we got so distracted with her lies about the process.
Yes.
Right? We didn't delve into we knew, yes, these were cadres and all of that, but we almost never got into the details of some of those names.
Yeah.
And so her successor, I presume, just thought, well, okay, I'll just push these ones through.
I mean, if there's one thing to learn from your predecessor, it's let me do things right. So we're going to speak to the Public Service Commissioner about that. But also, I'm bringing in the Higher Education Committee Chair in Parliament, because I think they need to ask some serious questions here as well. Yeah, so that's what's coming up on the open line. And then at 10 o'clock, we're going to be in conversation with Rise Mzansi, leader and chairperson of the Standing Committee on Public Accounts, Songezo Zibi. At 11 o'clock, we do our World of Work feature. Today, we're discussing how to navigate generational gaps in the workplace. For the first time ever, we have 5 generations working side by side. We've got traditionalists, we've got baby boomers, Generation X, millennials, and Gen Z. So how do you navigate that? And then we're going to wrap up the show at 11:30 on our health and wellness feature. Today we're discussing Botox.
Okay, that's why there's no wrinkle on your face. Come in, Manyatela, between 9 and 12.
Ever driven 6 hours to get to a place that should have taken 1? Skip the detour with Sem Air, a proudly South African full-service airline, connecting you to 16 top destinations, whether it be for business or a break. Baggage included. Onboard snacks, always. Comfort and service, count on it. Because when your time matters, your airline should too. Book now at semair.co.za. Sem Air, more from your airline.
Just phone Outsurance, get a quote and see what they can offer you. If you don't save that 321 like I did, you might get a 500 or $1,000 back. Service and savings, you'll always get something out.
How is it that Outsurance provided the solution for you?
918 Rand is what I'm saving.
Incredible. What brought you and Outsurance together?
718 Rand. I end up saving.
They gave you the real deal.
It literally is the real deal.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP, T's, C's and information online.
Spar brings you super savings. Get 2 kg Tastic long grain, parboiled, brown or soft absorbing rice assorted for $34.99. Save 10 Rand with Spar rewards, or 2-liter Spar sunflower or canola oil for $69.99 with Spar rewards. Plus, you could win your share of 6 million Rand in instant cash. Price is valid until 7 September 2025 while stocks last. T's and C's apply.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
As you well know, we are champions of the arts here at 702 Breakfast. And this weekend, the Narox Sculpture Park in the cradle of humankind will be transformed into something so much bigger than a mere art exhibition. The BMW Art Generation returns for a 3rd edition and promises a day of talks, performances and workshops under the theme A Topology Between Image and Imagination. To tell us about it, Kim Candon, the curator and manager of the FNB Art Joburg. A very good morning to you, Kim. First of all, a topology between image and imagination. That sounds delish.
Hi, Bongani. Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Tell me more about this theme.
Yes, perfect. So, as you said, the 3rd edition of the BMW Art Generation. Very excited to be in the 3rd edition. And I mean, building on what we started 3 years ago, I was thinking about how we bring this alive this year. And from inception, this platform was about how we look at ourselves as Africans, but also how we look at ourselves as practitioners within a cultural and art ecosystem as Africans. And particularly this year, I wanted to focus in on how we reimagine through imagination and through image making, utilizing the various forms of practices and thinking of us here on the continent. So looking at histories, realities, cosmologies, mythologies that have essentially been overlooked over the years. How artists using these types of themes reimagine our future, look to our past, see how we can create a meaning for ourselves and how we want to tell our own histories. So all of that brought together with great lineups and interesting conversations and music and dialogue.
Well, I mean, let's talk about some of those. Kim Zanele Moholi is going to be there, right? Nicholas Slobo, and that's all about image, but there's also performance and sound. There'll be people like Sipho Hotsticks, Mabuse, for example. I mean, just give me some of the specifics around names we might know in terms of both performance, in terms of what we hear and what we see.
Perfect. So, as you said, one great name that we didn't mention is Msaki. So Msaki will be kind of opening the day at 12 o'clock for us, and then we'll have Monet as well, who'll be doing a morning interlude really on the garden lawns. So getting in touch with Monet, he does this great a great kind of conversation piece that he calls sip and cry, and so he's doing a different type of this for us during Art Generation, but more with a joyous aspect brought out to it. Zanele Moholi, of course, is one of the major names in art on the continent, shown all across the world. Sipho Mabuze, who's a veteran musician, will be taking the stage to end the day for us, or as well as Kemang Walehe, who's one of the greatest performance practitioners and installation artists that come from our continent. So a really hard-hitting and impactful day with great names, but brought together as well with emerging voices, because that is what the BMW Art Generation is about. Two generations brought together for transfer of knowledge, to allow us to come to some type of generative understanding and be fulfilled at the end of it.
Kim, very quickly, for anyone who thinks, this kind of thing is not for me, what would you say to pull them in?
Oh, it's an enjoyable experience. I think it's something for everyone. There's also the BMW Center for Art Education that's popping up with Zayt's Mocha, biggest museum in Africa. So they'll be holding great workshops as well. So, if you can bring the kids, let them do a workshop, enjoy some drinks with friends, and you will enjoy the music. That we know for sure.
Where do we get tickets?
Tickets are available on artjoburg.com as well as on Tixa. Very, very inexpensive, 500 Rand a ticket. That gets you access to all of this.
Tixa and Art Joburg. Kim Camden, appreciate your time. Curator and fair manager at FNB Art Joburg, talking to us about what you can experience this weekend at the Narox Sculpture Park.
702 podcasts are on 702.co.za.
Oh, look at the time. Where does it go? It flies, doesn't it, when you're having fun? We'll see you again tomorrow as we do it all for you once more. It's time for the Clement Manyatela Show.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. The Madlanga Commission of Inquiry into alleged police capture will no longer start next week due to procurement delays. President Cyril Ramaphosa established the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into criminality, political interference and corruption in the criminal justice system. It was to investigate allegations made by KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi last month. In a statement this morning, the commission says